I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
I will not show my independence, and I will not be making my own decisions.
In 2009, a bipartisan Congress created the Center for Tobacco Products at the FDA, and then the president signed this into law. And no, the fact that Congress and the president agreed on something is not what was historic. It was that for the first time ever, FDA, since the time we were established in 1906, we're really the gold standard agency to make sure that every product you put on or in your body is safe and effective.
Bullshit. The FDA is expanding a recall of a popular blood pressure drug over concern it may contain an unwanted ingredient that can cause cancer.
Tonight, for people on medication to treat high blood pressure, the Food and Drug Administration is recalling several drugs that contain an ingredient, valsartan. That drug includes an agent that could cause cancer.
Pfizer recalls its popular anti-smoking drug Chantix over a possible cancer risk.
The recall was secondary to some unknown quantities of a chemical called NMDA. We do know that it can cause direct liver injury.
Now to the Food and Drug Administration and to questions of regulation. The salmonella outbreak and the major egg recall have raised questions once again about whether an agency charged with regulating drugs and food can adequately do its job.
I can share that, at least from where FDA's perspective is, we would prefer to not have kids on the continuum of risk, if at all possible. But we recognize that's not possible because kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things. If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful. As kids are incredibly smart. I'm sure both of these gentlemen, I'm sure, see that, and they have a crap detector a mile wide. We have not tried to tackle that directly in any of our proactive messaging, but when we get questions specifically in social or direct message, that's when we have that one-on-one dialogue.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
Epidemic?
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking.
You suck!
Well, there you are. Hello, and welcome. It's Friday, and we're here. We're gonna do some stuff. We got some exciting stuff for later on in the show. Elon Musk was on fire this week. I'm sure that you've seen this one clip, but there's other clips that I thought were way better than that clip. So we're later on when we're in the safe zone over on Rumbles, we're gonna talk about that. But anyway, hi, how was your week? But anyway, Kevin is here. Kevin is in the back. He came in as I was running the intro, so I know that he's probably going to be all like boomer and not going to have his headphones working or something. He's going to say, "Can you hear me?" But we'll see.
Can you hear me, son? What's going on?
You young whippersnappers in your new computer things.
Little cocksuckers gotta stop fucking around here. What's the Elon? What's his name? Eon boy. He's just telling people just all kinds of shit this week, wasn't he?
He says F-Y. Now later on, we will.
I know who he directed it at. And I heard who he was talking to in the audience, and I thought that was funny. I don't even know why he did it. I just think it's funny.
Because
I don't care why he did it.
We'll talk about it later. So what the hell have you been doing this week?
Well, my socks fit very nicely. Thank you for asking. I've been busy. I got shit to do, and I got the grandson. He's a local star at the local post office now. He's revered, and I like that. I do like that pipe. Again, as usual, I'm in no mood for you. I'm already tired. I haven't had my nap. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Did you eat your Geritol? I mean,
no, I don't take supplemental. And I got to get up early in the morning, so don't be fucking around tonight. Or I'm going to tell you whatever Elon was telling people. It was funny.
There's a. No, I'm not going to.
What's Disney's president?
I have to. He. Well, I don't even want to go there right now because I'll get my YouTube channel.
This is why you don't need me in a court of law talking about vaping, because that's what I'd be doing. You know what? Fuck you, and fuck you because you're fucking lying. You fucked.
Now I didn't clip this part, but there were I will wait because
right.
We're gonna get in trouble.
We have a crap detector a mile wide.
I'm gonna be in trouble if I start. No. So anyway, did you see there are our friends are here?
I can't even see the chat. I ain't looking.
Addie's here.
Holy crap, they're here.
And Toasty's here. And Steve is here. And let me scroll up some more. I said Jason already. Then I said Peggy's here.
Oh, Peggy's here.
Mallory was second because I was first.
I'm old. I can't see.
But there's people. There are people here. And let me click over here on the Rumbles and see if there's anybody. There are 2 people that are watching in the Rumble. That might be duplication from people here that are got multiple windows. I don't know. But we are happy that you guys have decided to spend your Friday evening listening to us, two old grouchy bastards.
Codgers. They were codgers.
I think we're bastards too, but anyway.
All right, I'll take bastards.
Yeah. So, this week, Kevin, was not a good week for vaping in Australia.
Well,
the penal colony is showing its true colors.
He said penal. Go ahead. Sorry. I didn't. What?
Michael Redfern just showed up. He says we are allowed to start the show now.
I'm thinking Michael was like kicking ass on Twitter, X, whatever.
He was quite active.
He's one of my idols. You know that, right? There's other people that I like besides you, and I barely like.
You don't even like me as you and Charlie. Neither one of you like me.
You're like a baby hair because it's a clean family show at the moment.
Yeah. So I have a story here. It's from one. Well, we have a couple pieces tonight at the very beginning, talking about how the prison colony in Australia do not actually require rights. I guess they don't need those in Australia.
No, you don't.
Freedom is not part of the Aussie way.
You can't choose for yourself.
Yeah,
you can smoke.
Yeah,
actually, get yourself some cigarettes. Will you?
Yeah, I mean, the head of what's it? It's not Mike Cunt. What was that guy's name? The guy that's in charge of over there now.
Some other dumbass.
Yeah,
Mike something.
We're gonna catch him in a lie.
Go.
Okay?
What did I say last week?
Yeah.
I like that.
So let's play this news piece from India about Australia.
A significant crackdown on vaping is underway as the health minister announces a ban on the import of disposable vaping devices starting January 2024 in Australia. This marks initial step in addressing the rising popularity of nicotine-filled devices among young people. Furthermore, the crackdown will escalate in March 2024, extending to include all non-therapeutic vapes, even
What? Okay, all right. I know this is loud. I have no control over that.
That's what I'm doing. I'm turning my shit down because that was loud as hell.
what is non-therapeutic vapes? I saw a tweet this week where somebody was asking that question. I have asked that question before on the show. Nobody has yet been able to give me a definition of what a non-therapeutic vape is.
I'll take a stab at it. It's an unprescribed vape. What do you think? No?
Okay, but
I don't know.
If for example,
yeah.
Now, if you have we need an Aussie. We need a convict in here to answer this question.
Calling all drop bears. Please.
So
report to the front.
As far as you know, okay. So as far as you know, you cannot buy nicotine e-liquid in Australia.
Yeah.
And you cannot buy nicotine, even if you have a prescription in Australia. You have to import it, correct? Is that
right?
Right. Okay. So
as far as I know, as far as I know.
If you have a prescription, you can order nicotine to add to your zero e-liquid in Australia. Now, if you have a prescription, can you not order like pre-filled cartridges or pre-filled disposables, I guess? I mean, if you have a prescription, you have the right to have nicotine because you have a prescription according to the regulations of the warden in the penal colony
doing time.
Is that not legal? If you have a prescription, you legally can possess nicotine. Why can't you buy easy pre-filled disposable nicotine e-cigarettes? Why not?
So in the spirit of telling the facts with our little show that we do here, by the way, it's the #1 rated show on Friday nights this time.
On right this minute, yes.
Anywhere. Therapeutic means I'm sorry. We'll just try again. Therapeutic means relating to the healing of disease, a branch of medicine concerned, blah, 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 a treatment, therapy, or drug. So non-therapeutic means it's not healing a disease. I don't believe that this heals any disease. I don't see where
if you consider now, if you take the broadest definition of addiction,
the wide,
then possibly you could say that it's curing your addiction, if you want to use that word.
Dependent.
So that would be
Jeffrey,
barely.
It's barely touching the surface of anything.
I'm playing fast and loose with the definitions here, just to make.
Well, don't you always?
I do not like to agree with them that we are addicts, because I don't like the word addicts in this context.
But without therapeutic, Patrick, they have no basis for prescription. See, and I think it's all in the wording, like everything else, and that's what it is. And fuck them.
Yeah, no. So Steve is again jumping the gun. There are show notes. He says they're saying no penalties for consumers, just retailers. If you look like 3 pieces down, you're gonna see where I proved the lie. Okay.
So is it all in the wording?
Between him and Addie, I swear, they're just trying to get him.
I don't think anybody likes you anymore, Patrick. None of us respect you. Ever.
He always does that too. He jumps the gun and starts talking about stuff in the chat room.
I encourage it.
Get to it.
I'm encouraging that behavior because I think it's funny. So
I'm going to make them get a show so that I can heckle them in the chat.
Therapeutic means relating to the healing of disease. Now, it's a medical definition, and that's what it is, and fuck them. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying. I don't care.
Let's keep going here from this.
All right, maybe we'll learn.
A UK India
all riled up in the first 5 minutes.
News source, talking about Australia stuff.
Fillable devices. Importers of medical purposes vapes will now.
All right. Now she's talking about vapes and nicotine, and then she shows this on the screen.
Ooh, badoopage. Oh, hooch. Is that hooch?
I mean, that is not the hooch that I when I use the term hooch, I'm referring to alcohol.
No, well,
I'm confused now. She's talking about single-use nicotine e-liquid e-cigarettes, but somehow
it's like marijuana.
Somehow they why how
lettuce. It's the devil lettuce.
All right.
Require permits from the Office of Drug Control, adding a new layer of regulation to the landscape as part of a comprehensive legislative package.
Now, all right. So while you're talking on screen, let's show these innocent-looking children that are going to be.
They're looking down on you. Ring around
these are the children we are turning into street level like addicts and junkies. Okay, all right.
Australia is allocating an additional $75 million funding to empower the Australian Border Force and the Therapeutic Goods Administration for the enforcement of these new rules. This financial boost underscores the commitment to rigorously implement the vaping restrictions.
Vigorously.
Well, I'm trying to behave myself, Patrick. Shut up.
Vigorous enforcement.
Shut up!
Looking ahead, upcoming legislation in the coming year will extend these prohibitions to domestic manufacturers, ensuring a unified approach to curbing the use and distribution of vaping. Health Minister Mark Butler says, "These are the vapes that have pink unicorns on them, bubblegum flavoring, disguised in order for them to hide them in the pencil cases. This is not a therapeutic good to help hardened smokers kick the habit."
So, if a single smoker in the prison yard, of Queensland or whatever, decides to quit smoking with a e-cigarette with a pink unicorn on it, who are they to judge?
Well,
so what we need to do, Kevin, is recruit, and I'm sure in the entire prison colony of Australia, there's at least one guy that likes to wear pink.
Sure, I imagine there is.
And then,
well, since Paul left, and there's somebody replaced him, right?
Get him to, choose to use a pink unicorn e-cigarette, and then that way we can pull in that,
this is
argument that they are interfering with the him exercising his free right to live the life that he wants
to identify as a pink unicorn having motherfucker. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go stomp on Addie's grass. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna get into Michael's stash.
This is a good that is deliberately targeted to kids to require them to nicotine addiction. Despite having one of the lowest smoking rates among OECD countries, vaping is experiencing rapid growth in Australia.
Vaping is experiencing what?
She's annoying.
Yes, I purposefully picked this just to right from the gate. Yeah, I know.
Particularly among the youth. Government data reveals that approximately 1 in 5 individuals aged 18 to 24 are now using vaping devices in Australia.
18 to 24. Again, they're citing
how many kids are in there?
adult
kids
statistics.
How can you? Oh my God.
Yeah. First introduced in August, these reforms designed to address surging popularity of vaping driven by research indicating the potential for long-term harm. To safeguard access for smokers seeking to quit, doctors and nurses will have granted expanded powers to prescribe.
You know, I
expanded powers.
My wife is now going to school right now to be a nurse practitioner,
so she can prescribe to you.
I'm going to require her to apply for her Australian nurse practitioner license so that she can prescribe for nicotine for all of my Aussie friends.
Ooh, look at you go.
See, I'm thinking ahead. I'm going to be charging everybody like $10.
Ooh.
We'll be able to scan prescriptions off.
I bet you're going to start liking him now.
I just figured out a way to make a couple dollars.
Patrick just wants to make new friends.
Maybe we'll move to Australia.
Oh my God!
I'll be the
I'll be your
we'll fly the pirate flag all over that damn prison colony.
Therapeutic vapes when clinically deemed and appropriate. However,
Oh no, I can't go there. They took guns.
Except for
we
revoltage. What's that?
There's no, they're not allowed to have guns. So yeah, no, that's never.
Vape.
Uses of flavors will be restricted, and therapeutic vapes will have limited nicotine levels. Sold exclusively pharmaceutical, and packaging new rules are slated for introduction next year, with a transition period provided for manufacturers to align with the updated regulations.
You know, this dramatic wow music in the background. You know,
Mallory's
they're turning this into some sort of like Lord of the Rings type, you know, nonsense.
It's wearing me down already. Why? Oh, see, I said Paul. Now look.
See, we looked. We requested a convict who likes to wear pink.
Well, it's alleged convict. Who likes to wear pink?
And the Tic Tac shows up. That's perfect.
Hey, Paul.
Good. That's excellent timing. Excellent timing.
Hey, I think we're gonna actually probably just set up a GoFundMe for bail money for some people. I don't know.
We're probably gonna need to when we get to the fourth article, Steve. Fourth. Okay.
Maybe Dave Gortz, he'll let me take his $8 and give it to somebody.
I could have sworn you probably already spent that money. I don't believe that you still have it, Kevin.
The $8?
Yeah, I don't think you have it. I think you blew it.
I'm holding $100 for Charlie's challenge.
100.
I put 100. I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna put 100."
You got 100 in there. All right. Well, okay. So here's another news piece. This is actually from an Australian news site this time.
Actual news, or is this just like more propaganda?
Well, it'll probably be propaganda. I mean, the warden is not going to let real news out.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve says he's being quiet now. I've chastised him now.
For parents of school-age children like Tim, vaping has become their number one concern.
I'm worried that they have access to it. I'm worried about how it's being presented to them as a normal part of life.
So normal, the government says almost 20% of Australian high school students are now vaping.
These are the vapes that are deliberately sold to our children.
These are the vapes that are...
These are the vapes that have influence on them, bubblegum flavouring, disguised in order for them to hide them in their pencil cases.
And they're soon to be banned. From January 1, it will be illegal to import any disposable vape, including those labelled as not containing nicotine.
For the first time in decades, we're seeing vaping lead on to tobacco smoking. It's appalling. It's a public health disaster.
We can't have that.
Steve Robson is a lying motherfucker.
Well, yeah.
For the people are, I saw that this week a tweet came across my screen on one of these BS things where somebody had said, "Oh, well, people are starting with vaping now, going to smoking. There are studies that say blah blah blah." And I was like, okay, so very nicely I said, could you please produce a single study that says that this has been proven? Not that it could, not that it might, not in our opinion, in our opinion, but that we have proven that this exists, because there has been not one study, anywhere in the world that has conclusively proven that this occurs. Nope, there was no reply. Not one, Kevin. Let's go on with more lies from this guy.
And it has to stop. And we welcome this strong action from the government.
But the government's not done. It's planning on introducing more laws next year, which will ban the sale of all vapes from March. They'll only be available at pharmacies for heavy smokers, and you must have a prescription from a doctor.
So that means that every vape shop in Australia is just now, they're fucked. Yeah. Starting next March, if this passes, and you can only buy your shit at a pharmacy, and the pharmacy's only going to stock one or two options. They're only gonna have whatever it is that they want to put in their inventory. They're not going to have a full inventory of everything that a vape shop has.
No,
they're going to have two or three. That's it.
Sorry, we can't fill that with a higher nicotine.
Yeah,
oops,
this is what you get.
The peak body representing Australian vapers has slammed the new laws, saying the issue is too widespread.
The only option is to follow the lead of New Zealand, the UK, and all of our European counterparts and regulate these products and tax them in a similar way that we do with alcohol and cigarettes.
There is no way this...
Hell no. In a similar way that you do alcohol and cigarettes. Well, fucking cigarettes in Australia are like $30 a pack or something like that. Some crazy amount. You're just gonna have people continue to smoke. They're not gonna go
really
to a like priced product.
Huh. About that.
There's a tweet later on that will address this exact topic. A very, very similar topic.
This government is going to raise the white flag on the future of our youngest Australians.
Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
That was 7 News. Addie said if it's Channel 9, it's BS, but that wasn't. That was 7 News.
Mark Paul said it was bullshit.
Well, that too. But specifically addressing the channel.
So, Doc, can I have a prescription? Sure. We're going to set you up with 3 milligram, and you only get one for a month. And good luck to you. Bye. Mm-hmm. Here's your script.
Well, the pharmacist is going to say, "Well, I saw on TV that this has as much nicotine as a carton of cigarettes."
Cartons, yeah. Boy, their fucking math is just as insane as can be.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't had enough Mark Butler, Kevin, here, let's give.
I didn't even know who the fuck he was until a month ago.
He replaced that Mike Hunt guy.
Right. I miss Mike Hunt. Don't make me talk about Bonnie.
For Australia, particularly impacting our youngest members of the community. We've seen stories over the course of high school exam season of high school students having to wear nicotine patches in order to get through a 2 or 3 hour exam. Such is
what's that?
Okay.
What?
Apparently, kids can get nicotine patches without any problem.
But Patrick, I thought nicotine was evil, bad, and just as addictive as cocaine.
Apparently,
it's banned.
Apparently, it's okay.
It is okay.
It's manufactured by like Merrick or
unicorns.
I wonder here, Kevin, could we get we're gonna reach out to some Chinese manufacturers. let's reach out to some Chinese manufacturers that will make us nicotine patches at 46 milligram, because that's a workable dosage with pink unicorns on them.
Or pictures of Mike or whatever his name is face.
No. With pink unicorns on them.
Just you pink unicorns.
And then we're going to import them like hotcakes into Australian schools.
What about the children? We're going to direct
especially during finals week.
That's right. Now he's saying school children, they could be 20 years old.
Well, according to these people, they're still children until they're 25.
Well, it should be 35. I'm agreeing with Fig more and more. It should be like 40.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the behavior from some of the people in our chat room that are in their 50s. And, Ed, who is like in his, 70s.
Oh, I thought it was like 120s, 115s or something. I don't know.
And I would hate to hazard a guess what Phil's age is.
I don't know.
Because I think rodents age at a different pace than we do.
He looks like a young rodent, a happy rodent.
But
I don't know.
Let's continue this jerk.
Is their level of nicotine addiction. We've seen research that shows that young people vaping are 3 times.
Did he say
more
nicotine
likely to
addiction?
take up cigarettes and
3 times more likely to. All right.
Oh my God, what did he say to what their nicotine addiction?
Let's scroll back here. I'm going to go back a few seconds here. Let's see.
Because that's not addictive; it's pharmaceutical.
Yeah, let's see.
We've seen research that shows that young people vaping are 3 times more likely to take up cigarettes, and tragically, we're already seeing that.
Would you please? What's your name? Mark Butler. I am begging you to please produce this science that says that proves that this happens. Please produce it, because CDC has admitted that they have been unable to verify that the gateway exists. They're confident that it does, but they have been unable to produce any factual proof. Now, if you think that if you have this study like in your desk drawer and you've been hiding it from people because you just want to quote from it, but you don't want to produce it, please produce it. I want to see it. I want to see the science. I want to see the numbers. I want to see how they prove that this happens, because it's BS. I've never seen it.
Plus, we'll all say, "Oh shit, you're right." Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd be the first motherfucker to say, "You know what? If this is a gateway to smoking, this is bad." I would. I'd be like, "Oh no, I don't know. You may as well smoke." I'd be the first guy to say, "You wouldn't want to fuck around."
I'd be going over here to the convenience store and spending $6 and buying a pack of cigarettes.
I don't think there's anybody in the room that wouldn't say the truth. Yeah. I don't believe that any of us would deny if it was, or we thought it was.
Let's keep going here. Let's see what this jerk has to say.
That factor through our cigarette statistics. The only cohort in the population in Australia where smoking rates are actually on the rise is the youngest members of our community.
Because you've made it harder for them to get a safer product.
You know, Patrick, if you don't mind, and God, I don't want to make this any longer. It has to be, but if it's a gateway to smoking, and they're concerned about that, they're not banning the cigarettes. Am I still so far correct on this?
Yeah, no, they love the,
they just like the normal pathway to cigarettes. They don't want a gateway. They just want a regular.
I think it's something like $11 billion or something. They get massive amounts of money from the sale of cigarettes in Australia. I'm just,
Huh. Oh, okay. All right. I was just making sure of the clarification for our friends. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
This is a product that is deliberately and cynically marketed to them. You'll see in the vape stores, you'll see in convenience stores, vapes that have pink unicorns on them that are flavored in a way to deliberately attract young people. You'll see.
This guy has an obsession with pink unicorns because I've seen 3 different speeches with 3 different backgrounds where he brings up pink unicorns.
They're his favorite underwear.
I'm wondering if
Mark
maybe
Butler
he's a little
unicorn
repressed and he's unhappy with his life, and that's why he's having to be so bitter.
Well, look at that. Oh shit, Pip is in the room. We fucking said we want some drop bears, and look, they just come flying in.
Yeah, I mean,
down under.
We did beg for somebody to answer our questions.
She almost broke my damn mic. I was so happy.
How aggressively were you grabbing your microphone?
I was just moving it. She broke it. Vapors UK broke fucking internet.
Disguised deliberately as highlighter pens or USB sticks so that students can put them in their pencil case and not have them detected by teachers or their parents. But those store owners, those store managers, whether they're tobacconists, convenience stores or vape stores that increasingly are opening up down the road from our schools because they know that is their target market. They need to know that from the time these regulations take effect.
Now, again, this is Australia. They're, it is,
73 miles.
If my expertise in Australia is accurate from watching Crocodile Dundee, there's not much choice. These little towns, there's like a gator farm or a crocodile farm, and like an old beat up bar, and then desert. Like there's not really many options for where you want to put your store. I mean,
well, you got your pink underwear Mark Butler stores, and then you got the pink underwear, the pink.
Well, and you got to make sure that you're not too close to the guard towers that encircle the entire country, and the barbed wire.
You got all fucking riled up now.
Yeah, I'm gonna ban Paul from putting links in the chat room. I really. Want to share links? Share them on Twitter.
Keep sharing them, Paul. Keep sharing them. Don't run away.
Taking everybody's fucking wrenches away.
Don't be scared of him.
They're trying to hijack my content over here.
In fact, they will be breaking the law. Currently, there is a loophole in place that means that it is legal to sell non-nicotine vapes. And as we do the raids at the border and states are doing sweeps as well on the ground, what we are finding, and this should be no surprise really, that all of those vapes that are labelled no nicotine or don't contain a label at all, overwhelmingly, well more than 90% once they're lab tested, are found to contain nicotine. From the 1st of January, it will be illegal to import any disposable vape.
Where's the U? They don't have U's over there. They gave them all to England. January.
I mean,
the fuck is that?
They got to add a U to color. They can't spell the word gray.
January.
Apparently, they can't pronounce January.
And obviously, they don't like pink unicorns.
And every sentence has to either begin or end with the word cunt. I'm just saying,
From the 1st of March, it will be illegal to import and supply any vape that does not comply with TGA standards.
I will not comply.
That it be non-disposable, that it be plainly packaged, that it not be flavoured, and that have a range of other conditions about nicotine content and the absence of certain chemicals.
Okay, so I'm hoping before you dropped, all my Aussie friends, when you went into the shower, before you dropped the soap, I really hope that you lubed up because he just went in dry.
Is that a loofah they use, them fuzzy things?
He just went in completely dry, like no flavors, no colors, no.
I think, in my opinion,
We're going to tell you how much nicotine you can have.
Do they do that with cigarettes? No.
Nah. No heat, not burn. Like
a walking contradiction.
I mean,
I've never seen the term more poignant than now.
Yeah. I was watching, they have a documentary on Netflix right now. It's called Nature in Color or something like that. And it's showing all the fantastic colors of wildlife in the world. And they're showing these baboons.
Yeah.
I think it's baboon. Yeah. Baboons. And they're born in their colors, their faces are gray. And as the males get more mature, color starts to come out on their face. And it's David Attenborough, so he's got that prim, proper British accent when he's talking about the colors of the majestic baboon with his red streaks on his face, and then at before he moves on, right towards the end of that, he says also the color goes to their backside as well, and then he shows this bright red ass. all of the vapors in Australia are going to have big red asses now.
Big red ass.
Fucked by their own government.
It's one word, really. Big red ass. It's just one word. You got the big red ass.
I mean, he just said no flavors.
You're no better than baboons, you bastards. All of you. Everyone
buy this stuff that we approve.
Cigarettes or nothing, you fucks. Because we don't care about cigarettes.
So
big baboon ass.
Yeah, we got big red monkey asses now.
Of course, we know to be particularly harmful.
Oh, thank God cigarettes are safe. Boy, they do it a lot of just astounding amount of protecting cigarettes over there.
I would have thought.
Yeah,
and I'm not I am not specifically addressing our friends in the chat room, Pippa and Tic Tac and all all of our Aussie friends. I love you, and this is not meant for you.
Hunky, are you over there too?
But I have always sort of envisioned Australia to be sort of like the Texas of the British colonies.
I would just
like the guys that would not roll over and take it up the ass like this.
Well,
and I know that you willingly didn't, but
Michelle,
I am so disheartened.
There's going to be cuss words tonight
with all of these fucking losses that we've been taking all over the fucking world.
That's right. PA, Pennsylvania.
I mean, when the Philippines has a more progressive program for vaping than Australia, I love the Philippines. My wife is Filipino, by the way. You know that.
Patrick, I'm gonna reiterate and just back pedal for a second. If you thought for a second that this was as bad or the same as or so close that you knew better, wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? I mean, I can't. There's nobody I've ever met that does it on the street, at the fucking Walmart. It doesn't matter. And they go, oh man, I just feel so better. I can't believe how much better I feel and all the other shit that we already know. And there's not one of us that I've ever met or know on Twitter or have met in person or have talked to on Facebook or messaged privately. None of you, not one of you would lie that I can tell.
I mean, this is worse. This is worse than what they did in India, Kevin.
Yes. Well, yeah.
This is, if you think about it over the last few years, India, they just went and fucking locked the doors. They just put padlocks and chains on all the fucking doors overnight, right?
Right.
This bullshit over the last, 3-4 years, they've been like, well, we're going to have consultations. Come and speak at our hearing and, send us letters. And we're going to dangle it in front of you like this. We're going to dangle it in front of you. And at the very end, they're just going to go, flip. Right. Stupid cunt. You thought we were going to give you what you wanted?
Right. It was a wine and dine.
It was.
Yeah. Carrot.
Fucking bait and switch bullshit.
Carrot baboon ass. Big baboon ass. Is that what it was? Red baboon ass.
So
look at Jason. You're getting him all
Addie's giving out recipes for Nutella banana crepes.
Well,
I don't mind that. I don't mind that, but I don't have those ingredients, I'm sure.
Now,
he just needs to make a bottle and put it in the mail and send it to me, because
I don't know for sure.
99% sure.
Unrelated, yet in the same vein. Al trying to stay positive. I follow him. He follows me. Something happened, I guess, to Al on Twitter, and Al's partner was tweeting and trying to understand some things. So it was a very interesting vision that I was kind of half watching. That Al is upset about this, obviously, but really wasn't feeling well or something. And I think he's in Australia, and he was assured by somebody that, yeah, somebody will get him his shit. And I put little pirate flags under it. And I think it was Paul, it might have been. But there are people that are really bad, really, really just scared the fuck out of their minds about this stuff. So it ain't funny. I mean, we're making jokes, haha, but okay, Michael, I got you. I just, if I call Paul or Bruni or Pippa or tweet and I say, hey, private message that person to get them what they need, somewhere, somehow, somebody's going to go, you know what do you got? What do you want? What do you need? You know,
well, we already had somebody offer to send stuff out.
Yeah.
Right in the chat room right now.
Okay. Gotcha. I didn't see it.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned. I mean, we have a network here. Like, we're friends. We all know each other on Twitter. We all talk to each other. It's on this, on the tweets or in the back rooms. I'm not concerned about these guys. These guys are going to get stuff. These guys are going to get what they need. I can send a box, to Australia, that it's fine. However, all of those other people that are currently smoking cigarettes in Australia, that are currently smoking cigarettes here, that are currently smoking cigarettes in every one of the other prohibitionist countries that we talk about every fucking week on this show, those people are going to continue to smoke, and then they're going to die a horrible death trying to catch their breath. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. All right. So here, this is the last of the Australia pieces. This is the piece that didn't get mentioned in the video pieces that we showed, but the douchebag, which is now, I've already forgotten his fucking name. The health minister in Australia said, we're not going to go after the dickheads that vape. We're going after the dickheads that produce these products.
Yeah.
They're not going to go after individuals.
No.
Okay. All right.
Of course not.
So look at here. Got a story here from the Daily Mail. And the headline is, there's a big fat belly now. Let's close that. I don't know why that decided to pop up. Butler.
Is that VAG Health?
Badge? I don't know. Trinite Williams, Western Australian man, 49, could be jailed and fined after cops found a vape in his car.
Jesus.
No, I just thought I heard this Butler piece of shit.
What happened?
Yeah. Man charged with possessing vape liquid. The health minister said vapors will not be targeted. No. Senator wants vapes legalized across Australia. There's our friend. Claims government ban will increase black market. That's not just a claim. That is actual truth. That is truth. It says here, a man has been charged with possessing liquid nicotine, despite Health Minister Mark Butler claiming smokers will not be personally targeted in the vape crackdown. Trinite I don't know what kind of name Trinite is, but Paul says he knows Trinite. Trinite Williams, 49, faced the Magistrates Court of Western Australia on Friday and pled not guilty to possessing liquid nicotine, which is a controlled substance, after police found it during a search of his car on October 8th. Now, Kev, I'm not sure how this works in Australia, but in America, a police officer cannot search your car without your permission.
There's some kind of amendment or something.
Unless he has a warrant.
Yeah.
Or like he walks by and sees that you have a machine gun on the back seat of the car, you know.
or you've strapped an FDA official to the trunk or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he has to have probable cause. There has to be something visible that he can see that would lead him to believe that there is something illegal in that car.
Search and seizure is very serious.
So I don't know what it is in Australia. I mean, there's sort of a socialist communist prison thing going on over there. I don't know exactly. Oh, so Trinite is the owner of a vape company, apparently. So he was singled out.
Well,
he was targeted. I can promise you he was targeted.
Yeah.
So it says here, police charged him with possessing a Schedule 4 poison under the state's Medicines and Poisons Act of 2014. He is facing up to a $2,000 fine and up to 2 years in jail if found guilty. Mr. Williams' lawyer, Kyle Kutasi, told Daily Mail Australia his client was extremely frustrated because he believed owning a vape was not against the law. I overshot. He just had a vape. That's it. No liters of liquid nicotine. He just had enough for the one vape for his personal use, Mr. Kutasi said. Mr. Williams is extremely frustrated because he is trying to defend a load of nonsense, and it is a complete waste of time and money. It was his understanding that it was not illegal to possess a vape since Health Minister Mark Butler publicly said users would not be penalized. Mr. Kutasi wrote a please explain to Mark Butler about please explain. Is that like a firmly worded letter? Please explain, Mark Butler, about his client's charges, which are essentially possessing a vape without a prescription. So the response from Butler were going to be, well, I meant that people that had a prescription wouldn't be targeted. He added the criminal charges came after multiple public comments by Mr. Butler assuring vapers that they would not be targeted or be the target of a nationwide crackdown. Australia will ban import. I forgot that this mouse does this. Australia will ban imports of disposable vapes in January, and in March, this will be expanded to include all non-therapeutic vapes, including refillable devices, while importers of vapes for medicinal purposes will need permit of the Office of Drug Control. So not only do you have to have a prescription starting in March, but you have to get a permit from the Office of Drug Control.
The end user or the prescriber?
No, the end user.
Good try. Fuck me.
If you're going to import nicotine, you're going to have one of these permits from the Office of Drug Control.
Is there a permit for cigarettes?
No.
Okay.
Jason says, should I buy Max PG or VG at 100 milligrams? I will buy either or and dilute it in my mix to get the end result that I want. But 50-50 is common.
I'm like 80-20.
No, I'm saying on just on the nicotine itself.
Oh, yeah.
I buy whatever is available, and then I can always, when you're making your recipe, when you're mixing, you can always adjust your ingredients to get whatever you want at your end result. Yeah, and Paul says it's near impossible to get the permit.
Do you have to have a permit to fish over there, Paul? Like
I bet you they do.
License or whatever.
I actually don't suggest that you get 1,000 milligram, but I do have 250 in the freezer as well. It's just more difficult to work with, and and fewer hazards. I know that. Yeah. And yes, you do. I think you need a fishing license pretty much everywhere, Kevin.
Yeah.
I got these arthritis gloves are now,
but not for cigarettes.
Burning my hands. No, you can as long as you're 18 in Australia, I think you can still.
What about lighters? You don't need a permit for a lighter. Those are available.
No, because how are you gonna light your dynamite to go fishing if you don't have?
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm just making sure.
That's how they do that in Australia. They throw a stick of dynamite into the pond, and that's how they catch the fish.
I say you throw Mark Butler in the pond and see what comes up, but then you probably wouldn't want to eat it.
Yeah, well, we cannot make those types of threats, Paul.
An ashtray permit.
We'll get your channel destroyed on YouTube.
I'm just saying. You got alligators and you got water, so I don't know.
Addy is 100% accurate. If you're using 1,000 milligram, it is probably smart to wear full respiration and chemical gear. It is. That's why I said it's not easy to work with. Just saying.
I think mine's 100.
Yeah, 100 is what you got, Kevin. Yeah,
I'd have to go look at it. I don't know.
I ordered a while ago, and the only thing that was available was 250, and it's frozen. It's like it's in the freezer. So
yeah, I bought more than I should have. I think so. Yeah. Janice is off nicotine completely right now. So.
That's the same thing. Pippa says you can buy all other NRT legally from the age of 12.
Yeah.
You can do that here too. Yeah.
So the nicotine is so dangerous, except when they have Pippa. You may not have been in here. Patrick is going to call a patch manufacturer in China, evidently, to ask them what was that again, Patrick? That they're going to what?
No, I'm going to get 46 milligram patches made. With pink unicorns right on them, and then we're gonna go to Australia and at finals week because Mark Butler's freaking out that kids are using nicotine patches,
prescription free, of course,
during finals week to help them get through their nicotine addiction or whatever.
Maybe we could offer them a clusterfuck.
Because that's legal. Right. That is a legal business.
Sure.
You can sell NRT legally to people 12 and over in Australia. So
it's not prescription. It's not regulated.
Apparently, the substance. Apparently, the ingredient, the substance itself, must not be too bad because it's legal for kids in 12 and up over there. I'm sure that in a hearing somewhere that has been mentioned by somebody. It baffles me that's never, if it's never come up. I challenge any person that's going to be at a hearing or a meeting to bring up the fact that, hey, well, kids can buy nicotine patches for, at age 12.
Jason, don't mix up your bottles because of what you do. Sorry, had to divert. keep that shit separate from the other shit. Formaldehyde, I have pink unicorns.
See, that's what Pippa could be our target. Remember what I said? We need to get.
I know.
We need to get somebody that likes the color pink in Australia. Of a certain persuasion. Vape with a pink unicorn vape and get in trouble for it and say, well, you are targeting my demographic of 49-year-old people that like to vape pink unicorn stuff.
I got a pink vape. I own it. I've been using it.
And you're being targeted. I think that yeah.
Fuck. Oh my God. 114 milligram.
I've never
But
seen
those aren't dangerous
here
to the kids, though.
Here in the States, you know the Chantix, or not the Chantix, but the Nicotine patches only go up to like 16.5. That's why they don't work.
I thought they were 21.
No, remember a while ago I had the pictures. I made the pictures. Put it on the Twitter.
I always thought they were 24. 21.
That was the highest one that I could find.
Oh, well, I had a prescription. I was old enough. Well, I am old enough. Sorry. I actually had a prescription for the patch. So maybe that's why it was 24 or 21, though.
Well, that was 100 years ago when we were required to have a prescription.
That's true, Sonny. You're right. Fucker.
I gotta refill my beverage here, Kevin.
In fact, me and Ed laugh about that all the time. We just keep telling the same story over and over.
I'm surprised he hasn't showed up. We said his name. He usually shows up once we say his name.
Me and Pip are rock. Look at that. See, huh?
You don't? Do you have a pink one?
It's pink as fucking pink can be pink.
Oh, that's true. You got the demi pink. I forgot.
I got the demi pink now. See? Oh, that means they're targeting him too. Well, he's going to go all Greek motherfucker on somebody's
He's
ass,
in Greece though. He's given up on us. He's staying in Greece forever now. He says.
Maybe he'll adopt us.
I mean, his daughters would be, a quarter of my age. I think they're 20 probably. So
yeah. Well, if I identify as Demi's son, though, then he's got to take me in, right? I think I will.
I don't know that. I don't know.
Well, I have a blue vape, says Michael.
Michelle says, "Have you seen McDonald's is bringing back adult kid boxes with toys inside?"
I saw that tweet.
Are they adult? Are they adult toys? I mean,
I did see that tweet earlier, and I forgot to retweet it.
Anyway, let's keep going here. Australia will ban imports of disposable vapes in January, and in March, this will be expanded to include all non-therapeutic vapes, including refillable devices. While importers of vapes for medical purposes will need a permit. They missed an A from the Office of Drug Control. The ban will include $75 million in extra funding for the Australian Border Force and the Therapeutic Goods Administration to bust vape smugglers. But at a press conference explaining the crackdown on Tuesday, Mr. Butler said there is no penalty for people who use vapes. I do send this message. These are not measures targeting users. These are not measures that impose any penalty whatsoever on people that are using vapes, except for that one guy that they just pulled over and found a vape in his car.
That's a fake story.
There is no penalty for people. Oh, no, I already read that. Mr. Butler told Daily Mail Australia in a statement that the Commonwealth does not interfere or comment on prosecutions undertaken by the state under state law.
Yeah, we're not responsible. This is like the FDA saying they're not going to actually enforce laws when they ban shit. Somebody else is going to do that. We don't give a fuck. As long as our cigarettes are being sold, we don't care.
He says, "I'm not lie. I didn't lie. Because the state is doing it. The state is responsible for this.
It's
action,
not us.
me.
We don't.
I'm a good guy. I didn't do this.
Cognitive dissonance, boys.
This is not me. This is them.
There should just be a banner above their heads when they're talking. Cognitive dissonance is real, and then move on with their day.
Yeah.
Double plus good. Well, he'd never hurt us.
Well, he's not going to hurt me. I'm in Texas. He's over there. And he comes over here and starts fucking with me. That's.
Do you have a boat? If he comes over, you might take him out fishing. I don't know.
No. I mean, I do live.
You're like 5 miles, right?
No. If I go this way, this way, there's a road right here. If I go this way,
shortest route,
quarter of a mile to what they call the Oso Bay.
That's water. That's plenty for me. I'm good. I'll get you. We'll get you.
And
there
are biological things that live in there that would could eat whatever
things that will. Yeah. That even Jason couldn't figure out. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Now they're not quite as aggressive as the crocodiles that are in Australia. These are slightly less aggressive, but still quite crunchy, able to crunch things.
I've been involved in conversations about moats and crocodiles and drawbridges for a few years over the years on Twitter. I don't know why you guys don't just make a big old fucking moat around yourselves and just push them over in there.
Oh, okay. So Kevin, you're in Ohio, right? You live in Ohio, and there's this thing called the Cleveland Clinic.
Certainly
in Ohio. Now, the Cleveland Clinic is quite reputable as a health facility.
Allegedly, yes.
Okay.
They've done their share of stupid, but yes.
This week, representative of the Cleveland Clinic was on Fox 8 News.
Oh boy.
Here, let's get an opinion. Since you are a Ohioan,
fucking snowing up there. Jesus.
I don't know. It could be.
I ain't going there.
22 degrees at 9:42 in the morning.
You know, and I'm going to say this out loud. If that rally in Ohio up there with James, if they'd have done that in Cleveland, I'd have said no. Fuck you. I ain't going. Because look, it's fucking snowing.
Talking about breathing and the effects on our breathing with certain things that people are doing, especially children these days. So we've reported countless times about the dangers and long-term health impacts of vaping in teenagers, but we've never really understood the risk during this season, flu season.
And there is a significant impact. Dr. Fariba Rezai of Cleveland Clinic's Children joining us in studio, kind of talk about how these problems can create a real health situation for young people. First of all, this idea of vape, people thought it was an alternative to smoking, that it might be okay. Mm-hmm. But you're finding that it's not only is it not okay, but it's affecting the immune system.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So talking a little bit about the vaping and what's the vaping.
Now, I want everybody to write this name down. Fariba Riza EE.
Yeah.
Just write that down because she's going to be quoting a study here, Kevin. Yeah. And this has already been addressed on my Twitter thread, but
The vaping devices or electronic cigarettes, basically they use a battery device that is operated by the battery. And when the battery is turned on, there is a liquid inside the electronic cigarettes that you usually put it in the pod, and the heat turns it to the aerosol that can inhale. So then when it came 2007, all this vaping, and then they were thinking that to add a little bit, they changed the nicotine inside the vape that make it.
Everybody changed their nicotine, Kevin. They changed their nicotine.
Well, absolutely. And why would they?
Changed it, Kevin.
Well, because
everybody changed.
Everybody should.
Yeah. They.
A little bit smoother. They added more flavors,
right?
And then they claim that is not as bad.
All this was added. This is just a recent development, apparently, Kevin.
Sudden.
This just happened.
So it was the fast forward in 2019. That was the numerous cases of the vaping or electronic cigarette associated lung injury were admitted everywhere in the hospital. So we also published a study of the cases of the teenagers who came to our hospital with complications of vaping.
Now, when I saw this, Kevin, when I saw this, I immediately started tearing ass through the internet, finding stuff on the Cleveland Clinic and vaping and all of the stuff that they. So that they had a pulmonologist who produced a video about 2 years ago talking about laboratory results of vaping related. They had 8 samples.
Okay.
Only 8. 7 of them.
Yeah.
They were treated and they healed and they went home. And one of them died. Now, after he produced his study, he actually did publish an addendum specifically saying all of the people that we tested were vaping illicit THC products with vitamin E acetate.
Mm-hmm.
So he at least came to the table and said, you know what, I have some more data. Here's the more data.
And that's what I can expect from professionals.
This chippy, though, is still bringing up, and they don't use eValley, they use Vapi, V-A-P-I.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I can tell she's already got her degree in a bunch. So
So just my lab before then was studying the role of the viral infection and air pollution on airway epithelial cells, the cells that line the airways, and basically they are the first line of defense to the outside world.
So you were already studying this part.
We were studying the role of the viral infection and air pollution, but not the smoking. So I'm a pediatric pulmonologist, and when I interviewed these kids, they had no idea that these complications. Basically, they didn't know. Oh, it's just
So they
vape.
didn't have
it doesn't
any.
affect me. The nicotine is not as bad. So they didn't know that they changed the formulation of nicotine, that you don't feel it.
Again,
Patrick, can you tell what you're doing when you do this?
Oh, yes. I haven't even gotten to the best part yet, Kevin. She's about to say something that's gonna make your dander stand up.
I got a couple danders now. Don't
be
touching on my dander.
You're gonna get your dander up in just a minute. I'm just telling you. So she has said now she's doubling down on they changed the nicotine to make it even more smooth and thus more addictive.
She doesn't understand even what she's speaking about. Even I know what she's talking about. She doesn't. Wow.
Yeah. So they, meaning everybody that produces an e-liquid, decided
That's how I identify
that they're going to convert to nicotine salts, because everybody did, Kevin. There's none of that original.
I actually identify as a they. Or them. Sometimes I go with them, but usually it's they.
But that's just because you have more than one person living in your head.
Well, they like to sing along with me. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Or some of them were thinking that, it's just a flavor. Basically, the flavor, you can eat the flavor, but you should not inhale it. Let alone that flavor was coming from chemicals, which is not bad.
Chemicals.
So basically, those interviewing and seeing those kids and my publications sparked my passion that I already studied the role of the viral infection and air pollution in my lab.
Wow.
Why I should not study the role of the electronic
cough.
So how is it then, things like RSV, or how is this impacting? I know you mentioned the cells and how it's damaging.
Now, you need to quit muttering, because she's going to say something. You're going to miss it. Quit it.
I'm ready.
I can barely hear it now because you're muttering. You're gonna this is gonna blow your mind when she says it, Kevin.
The cells, in a sense, but what is the process of this? How do we know that this is for sure taking place, and what can we do? I mean, other than quitting, to prevent this?
So what a little bit more about our study, that we basically design an equipment that we can mimic the realistic, like what happens in the real world.
Okay.
We expose the cells to the different aerosols, and then we did the viral infection.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that we found a damage to the cells, even to the smallest dose, even of the solvent, even just the flavors, even the nicotine with the smaller amount. And then when we expose those cells to the viral infection, we got even worse. So the answer to your question, there is no alternative. So when it's something bad, is bad. Even the small amount is bad. And so what I always tell the kids or teenagers that I see in my practice is that there is no alternative. So, and then smoking is bad, and electronic cigarettes or vaping are even worse.
It's my fucking word. If you can say that with a straight face and believe it, you've got my respect for that part. But boy, what a fucking idiot! What's her name? Waka Waka.
I told you to write her name down, Kevin.
Oh my fucking word!
So she says that they not only did they test e-liquid, but they tested each individual component, and their result was that smoking is bad and vaping is even worse.
I think they mixed up their papers.
Yeah,
but okay.
Let's go back 5. Let's go back right there. All right, let's listen to this again.
Small amount is bad. And so what I always tell the kids or teenagers that I see in my practice is that there is no alternative. So, and then smoking is bad, and electronic cigarettes or vaping are even worse.
It's stuff that, they don't listen to adults a lot of times too, or even doctors. But so how do you get that point across to make sure that they understand how bad it can be?
So first of all, knowledge is power. So we have to give them, the study that we have shows that what happens in the cellular levels. And I'm sure these teenagers, a lot of them very smart, they read those.
All right. So I'm going to just stop this now, Kevin, because I'm going to go to my Twitter thread where our awesome people that follow us on Twitter, that do the work for us so that we don't have to.
At times they do. Oh my God. I am so happy and proud of you people. Holy shit. Sometimes so well that I don't even interject because it's already been said.
All right. Believe me. You're going to appreciate this, Kevin. Let me pre-rub this a little bit.
All right, let me get my other eyes back on here.
Pre-rub it here. I'm gonna and I'm using your night view.
Oh, good. You like it?
Even though I despise it, I just haven't.
Well, kiss my ass. I like mine.
I'm using the dark view.
I've got red hair. I've got sensitive eyes and skin. I like dark.
Okay. Oh, wow. So I tweeted. This is the video. Researchers from Cleveland Clinic says vaping is worse than smoking. That's right. Just keep smoking. Cleveland Clinic wants you to die gasping for air. So
they're telling kids that.
Apparently, yeah. So then I scroll down and Juka. So Juka says the study did not compare vaping with smoking. Furthermore, in the current study, we have not compared the. She actually has this as a quote in there. The study did not compare vaping with smoking. Furthermore, in the current study, we have not compared the effect of e-cigarette exposure to conventional cigarettes or dual exposures. And then they tag Dr. Sussman.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Jason says 97% of scientists agree with whoever is funding them. Now, Squonkus says more corruption.
Yep.
Smoke vape Utah, will they never quit? Such outright lies. They call themselves journalists. Whenever kids are mentioned, this is a hit piece for paid contributors like Michael Bloomberg. It's not about kids. It's about 8 million worldwide who die every year from smoking. Now, if I click on Juka, there are even more of our friends reply here. So Richard's gone into the study.
Mm-hmm.
And they used 100 mil puff volume over 3 seconds.
Okay.
On the high end, so they're talking about sadly, cells removed from the body are sensitive to effects that would not show. So all right, so they're responding to that. So then Juka doubles down. It says the machine, she says that they designed a machine to do this, right?
Oh, yeah,
so it's
sure.
1 3-second puff every 15 seconds for 15 minutes. So that would be a 60 puff session. 1 puff, 2 breaths, 1 puff, 2 breaths. That's really a busy routine. I tried for a minute. They seem clueless about the role of VEA too. The study they cite doesn't even mention it, by the way. So he has screen capped. There are a few limitations considered in the study. The current study focuses on nicotine, PGVG, the flavors of e-cigarette components. There has also been a rise in the vaping of non-nicotine substances like THC. A study detects traces of vitamin E acetate. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then Richard responds to that. So they're saying that a realistic method for testing this device is 1 3-second puff. Yeah. Every 15 seconds for 15 minutes. So that is some sort of, that's a realistic exposure to on a cellular level, Kevin, not even on a rat.
Right.
So
how much better of an example of don't get involved, Kevin, don't get involved with the thread is this, because you've got two intelligent people discussing what they've read and understand. More importantly, because I don't understand all this crap, those are the people I look to go, is this right? Or is that? And I've been right and I've been wrong. And I've been told by someone who I trust, like Richard or Juka. In fact, Juka has shown me things and I'm gone, oh shit, I was way off. Or oh shit, I was underestimating the stupidity, whichever way it went. And these two people aren't going to lie.
Right. So
they're not on camera.
The scientist author of this paper is on TV and makes the claim that vaping is worse than smoking, but the study that she conducted does not compare the emissions from vaping to the emissions from smoking. So she makes an unproven, unscientific statement, expressing a conclusion that she has not done the research for.
You don't need the bottom piece of it, but unsupported by available evidence.
So while I was doing my little Google fit from that woman, I did find
guess we do know how to dig.
That would be beneficial for us to compare their attitudes on what harm reduction is. Okay. So this is like a 2-year-old video.
All right.
But okay. So this is the Cleveland Clinic stance on harm reduction, Kevin. So let's do this. So let's just check this out.
The road to recovery from opioid use disorder can be a long one. And while there are many treatments for this disorder.
So harm reduction is great, but only if you're addicted to opioids, apparently.
Yeah. Well, let's get some of that then, I guess.
All right.
There's one evidence-based approach that aims to help people at every stage of their journey. Harm reduction.
Now, does that... Here, let's scroll back here. I want you to hear the words coming out of that woman's mouth.
Well, I heard H word.
Their journey.
That aims to help people at every... That's almost like meeting them where they are, Kevin.
What the hell?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Harm reduction. Harm reduction involves using various programs and strategies to reduce the negative impact of behavior associated with opioid use.
So, I mean, really, if they would just take the word opioid use out and put cigarette use in.
Consumption, yeah.
Okay. I mean, a couple word substitutions and their whole idea is still valid.
The
Well, hell, we
end
could do
goal
that.
is to reduce the levels of harm on a personal and community level. There are 3 main harm reduction strategies.
Oh,
1.
good.
Reduce physical harm from substance use.
Okay.
Many people with opioid use disorder may find themselves in dangerous situations. Harm reduction offers strategies to mitigate that risk. For example, there are many programs that provide clean needles to patients. This helps prevent the spread of infections and diseases. Another way to mitigate risk is by distributing the overdose reversing agent naloxone. This drug helps prevent fatal and non-fatal overdoses. It comes in many different forms. The most common is a single push nasal spray that's very easy to use. 2. Reduce harm by reducing use. There are several medications a doctor might prescribe to assist in use reduction. They work by making opioid receptors in the brain less sensitive to drugs that patients might misuse.
So we're going to give you nicotine so that the nicotine receptors in your brain no longer crave a cigarette. So, I mean, it works. It still works, Kevin.
Medication has been shown to reduce opioid use and reduce the risk of someone dying from an overdose.
Reduce the risk of somebody dying, gasping for air. See, it still
And
works.
while it's safe for patients to take these medications long term, this strategy actually increases the chances someone will enter formal addiction treatment. 3. Meet people where they are.
Oh, shit. Holy crap, Kevin.
Are they supposed to have that up on the screen? Because
I can't understand how they can be so empathic and sensitive to
the very next word says experts, and then realize.
Yeah.
Experts realize that forcing people to do something they aren't ready for is usually counterproductive.
Holy shit. This is totally on the ball for harm reduction, Kevin. It's too bad that they won't adopt
The
that
same
same
people.
stance for
Cleveland
tobacco.
Clinic. In fact, same place, right?
Yeah, exact same group of folks.
That's why harm reduction includes various strategies to help people who need it, whether that means providing clean needles, prescribing medication, or offering more intensive recovery programs. Harm reduction helps people wherever they are on their journey. It's important to remember that opioid use disorder is a brain disease. Your brain is changed in a way that makes quitting or stopping opioid use physically.
Well, I mean, according to them, that nicotine.
Right.
affects
Well, they like to
you know.
classify disease and.
But if they're willing to admit that addiction, affects your brain, and you can't easily remold your brain, and
Then I'm disabled.
You might need to try other strategies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so if I have a brain disease, am I then considered disabled, sir?
No, not always.
Well, I want to be identified as disabled so they can go fuck right off. That's why.
You can tell them to go fuck right off without being disabled, Kevin.
How you doing? Well, yeah.
And mentally challenging. At the end of the day, it's important to treat a person with opioid use disorder with compassion and dignity.
Oh, crap. But only people that are addicted to opioids, not people that are, using tobacco.
Well, I'm an old cab driver. I'm used to being beat up and fucked around. Who cares? And then I also was a person who smoked. And then I got to hang out with you every fucking Friday, so that makes it even worse. But
you get to hang out with me every fucking Friday.
Eventually, you just beat me down like a dog, and I just go roof until I'm tired, and then I go to bed. Fuck it. Who cares? But I don't understand. I don't understand.
If it was anybody other than Jason, I would agree to this.
Yeah. I can't. If you see somebody on the street, and I always use, even when the kids were smaller, the man on the corner, you got Phil Collins singing away, and you don't know what the guy's going through. Just because he's wearing rags doesn't mean you have to be an asshole to them. If they come up and they say, I need 50 cents, you can choose to say, I don't have 50 cents, or you can be an asshole, or you can give them 50 cents, or whatever the fuck. You could buy them a meal, but you don't know what the person's going through. That's where he is or she is in some cases, and there you are. So, well, I'd like to help the home. I've heard this. I've actually heard this from a relative. I'd help them, but all they're going to do is go spend it on drugs and booze and cigarettes. Well,
I'm a little bit distressed,
probably.
Kevin. I this week I was so parts of where I live, Corpus Christi and the outlying areas. Now, Rockport, Texas, is where the hurricane hit. You remember?
Okay, yeah.
A while back, it was decimated. Now, one of the areas of that town, because it is a beach town, right? There's a Walmart, and at the intersection in front of the corner of the Walmart, it's a 4-way intersection.
Yeah.
And on every corner of that 4-way intersection was a different homeless man. There were 4 homeless guys holding up signs saying disabled American vet. 4 of them. Right. Then I go through that intersection to go into the entrance, and there's another homeless vet holding up a sign, disabled American vet.
Okay.
And it disgusts me that 5 disabled American vets have to go and stand on the corner and beg for money to survive.
Correct.
Now,
I agree.
If this was San Francisco, they wouldn't be. Well, they might be some vets in there. I don't want to be smart at it, but 2 weeks ago, they would have had the help they needed for one night. While they can afford to help them when it's convenient for them. But then the next day or two, they're back on their corner again, right?
Plenty of extra ways to help them for a few minutes.
Yeah. I mean, if you live, it just and I know some of these guys are suffering from mental illness and aren't going to accept any aid from like an organization anyway, because most of them don't trust authority anyway. But
right, and they just can't wait for some pompous prick fucking ass to come up and go, well, fuck you, you're just going to buy cigarettes. Fuck off. No. They may buy a fucking meal. Give them if you got to give them a fucking dollar. Let them do what they want.
In the past, Kevin, I would have gone to the McDonald's right there and bought them like a meal and taken it out to them. But I have been told by some of them, just give me the money.
Right. I understand.
That is a little bit, disheartening.
Yes, I understand. I get it. You have to make your own decision at that point, or just avoid them if you have to, or whatever.
It is a little bit disheartening, but
I've given packs and packs over the years, even in my little taxi at the bus station, and I've handed people cigarettes because they want to bum a cigarette. Now, if you're wearing gold chains and you're in a $1,000 suit, you probably don't need my cigarettes so much. But when they're homeless, and there are some homeless still in Dayton,
So, Kevin,
what?
Do you know what time it is, Kev?
It's time for me to go to fucking bed. That's what time it is.
It's definitely not.
Is it howdy doody time?
It is not howdy doody time either.
It makes your booty shine. Just take a look at mine. It's howdy doody. Never mind.
Okay. No, do you know what time it is, Kevin?
Is it the VCTW? What?
It's time for.
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the Week.
Meow.
Michael, yes.
Gotcha. All of the tweets, these are not all necessarily tweets of the week.
I sent that to my son because he's a Wolverine fan.
I'm a huge
My
Wolverine
friends
fan.
are cooler than your friends.
I've got a Wolverine lithograph over there and one right here. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. But apparently Wolverine was caught on the set of Deadpool 3. He apparently ditched his traditional cigars because there are many depictions of him smoking a stogie.
What about the children? I'm surprised Truth hasn't fallen all over themselves to get to this.
But they're. Oh, I'm sure. If you
come
were
up,
to point it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus can do the wrecking ball bullshit, but this guy's going to vape and they're going to be all over him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Or whatever else Miley's doing this week.
I think he's he cannot be canceled. He's uncancelable.
Well, how do you cancel a Wolverine, really?
Well, I'm just talking about what's his name that plays Wolverine.
I have no idea. I have no idea who he is.
He's an Australian actor. He's a
You're
singer.
lucky I knew he was Wolverine at all.
He's a song and dance man. But
I don't know.
His vape does match his outfit though. It is a
Logan
yellow
is
vape.
really, isn't the name Logan Wolverine?
Wolverine's real name is Logan. Yeah.
Right, and Logan and Jeremy, they do this thing, and Logan is like a Wolverine. He's crazy when he does it, and he's doing his thing. So that's why I knew who it was. Other than that,
yeah. So this wasn't necessarily a tweet of the week material, but I'm putting all the tweets together, so it's just more convenient for me. But I thought that was kind of funny that Kevin sent that. But here's one, Kevin.
Great.
Again, I'm constantly looking for tweets that are not from our circle.
That was out of my circle.
And
I don't even know if somebody must have hit it.
I found this one. This one is from Warwick Mansell, and he is an education journalist. He runs an education news website called Education Uncovered. He's a longtime contributor to The Guardian. He's a blogger. So it says here, new academy, which locks gates in front of toilets during lessons, tells parent that many modern workplaces restrict access to the loo. So this school in the UK apparently is limiting who can use the bathroom and stuff. And it won't let me see it because it is a paid subscriber piece. So if we scroll down here, he said parents whose child faced extreme distress when not managing to go to the toilet during lessons, given the explanation by the academy. The school is one of many in England, of course, restricting access to the toilets during lesson time. This one has gates operating as a physical barrier, as pictured here. This policy resulted in distressing incident for this child and also another at his school. So they bar the toilet up so that they put security bars in front of the toilet. So it says here, pupils are allowed to ask supervising staff for entry to the toilets during lessons, but only if they have permission from the teacher or if they have a medical condition. And here's the zinger here. Girls on their period have to either get their parents to tell the school about this or ask their form tutor to issue a toilet pass, which would allow access email to a parent. So if you're a girl, you have to raise your hand and say, I'm having my period. I need to go to the bathroom. Now, how embarrassing for a teenage girl is that? I mean, literally, Kevin, I mean,
how far?
How demeaning and undignified. I mean, they're destroying these children's dignity here. They're, Did you see the bars, Kevin? This is what they bar up the fucking. See that?
How far down the stupid fucking trail can you go? Now, I'm not
a parent, but if I had a little girl and she told me,
I'd fucking
girl, help get their amp flow. I mean, 13, 14.
The only thing I have to ask is the ladies in the room can say anything they want without restriction. Of course, you probably already know that. If you or your daughter were in that position, what you would say or do. Because, Patrick, wouldn't you be knocking on a door?
I would be flipping out if I had a daughter and she came home crying because she had to announce to the class that she was having her period and she needed to go to the bathroom. Because I know what 14-year-old boys or 13-year-old boys are going to snicker and make jokes about for the rest of the day.
I do not understand. Where was this? Was this here?
No, it's in the UK.
UK. I do not understand how an adult can find this in any way, shape, or form acceptable. I don't understand. When I was a 13-year-old perverted little boy, I did not want to know about your female problems. That's because it's none of my goddamn business.
Well, and then the excuse that they're using is that, well, some workplaces do that to adult employees.
Bullshit. Really?
And the excuse that's mentioned down here is the Amazon warehouse. Now, like 5 years ago, Amazon got the fuck suit out of them because they did limit bathroom breaks for their employees. They did not, however, put fucking metal bars over the bathroom doors.
I can't imagine. Michelle, thank you. I can't imagine somebody's mom coming down there, and I'm going to try to be funny. This is not a shot at anyone. Wagging their freaking head around telling them, you ain't telling my motherfucking daughter to do shit or not to do shit. She's going to go do her shit and be done.
I mean, again, Kevin, this is just the same nonsense that we've been talking about for a long time.
How can you dehumanize people? Kids.
Yeah. I mean, these are the people that have the no voice in any sort of authoritative circle, and they are being targeted, victimized, and dehumanized by these people in power just because they're afraid, oh, well, they may go into the bathroom and vape.
Well, good point, Paul. I saw these. I saw you retweet it. I went down a little bit, and I was actually so mad that I didn't even ask if this guy was for or against just reporting or just being an idiot. If he was, I didn't know if he was a reporter. I just didn't. I didn't go back to it because I was so fucking mad.
Yeah,
and it was because of your tweet that I saw, and then I went down. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't. I can't fucking do this because I'm just going to make it worse. I can't be any more unhappy about this kind of shit.
So Jeff says 20 years ago, this sort of thing would have been unthinkable. How far will it be in another 20 years?
Oh my God.
Well, I'm not gonna get political in this chat or in this thing right now. Later, ask that same question when we're over in the Rumble. Because I'm afraid I'm going to get fucking busted in here. I am currently working on a new 1984 T-shirt, by the way, Kevin. I saw that Paul brought it up. I did email you a link to the 1984 dictionary this week, right? I did send you a link for that in the chat. You probably just ignored it, but yes, I did send it to you.
I did ignore it because I didn't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it is all of the newspeak definitions for every word in 1984. So yeah, I mean, we're in a weird space in the history of our world right now. We constantly say how divided America is,
right?
But it's not just America. The stupidity is worldwide. So I was just reading an article the other day, Kevin. It's not a tweet thing, so I'm gonna leave that up for a minute. It was going over Biden's aid package that they were distributing, and it was for Ukraine and Israel-Palestine thing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, and it's giving line items. It's mentioning how much money we're sending to the Ukraine for stuff, and then you go a little bit further down, and it says we're giving this many millions of dollars to Israel, in addition to what we already give them. And then, like half the page down, it says how much money we're giving to Palestine. So Biden is giving money to both sides of a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and why not?
Now, Kevin, the amount of money that they're giving Israel is like 10 times the amount that they're giving Palestine. But I think we've proven, not on this show, but we've proven in general, the amount of damage people with will and purpose, the amount of damage they can do for less money.
Oh yeah.
Palestine's not looking at buying guided missiles and stuff like Israel, which is going to, spend their money on highly, high tech, big weapon systems and stuff. But Timothy McVeigh and those assholes in Oklahoma City proved that a truck filled with fucking fertilizer and kerosene can do fucking huge amounts of damage. And on the cheap,
up our own truck.
They don't have to. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a big, huge like rocket. They can do massive. And I'm just like, those guys over there can patch something together for cheap.
MacGyver, yeah.
And I'm like, why are we giving money to both sides? Pick a side. I mean, I have an opinion on the matter. But if you're going to be stupid enough to give money to people that's just going to turn around and turn it into weapons to kill other people, at least pick one side. Don't give money to both sides. You know what I'm saying? You're just perpetuating and making it last longer. Well, so the circle of dumbassness in this whole situation is even worse.
Right.
So there's a country called Armenia. Right? It's the oldest Christian country in the world, Kevin. It's the first Christian country, Armenia. And it's over in that area too. And its neighbor is Azerbaijan. Now, Azerbaijan is an Islamic country.
Okay.
Now, which one of those two countries do you actually think that Israel is sending money to? And let me give you a hint. It's not the Christian country.
Then there you go.
So apparently, in that particular conflict going on over there, the Armenians are receiving aid from Iran, which is a Muslim country. So Israel is giving money to the Muslim country, and I mean we're giving money to these motherfuckers, and they're turning around giving it to other motherfuckers, and all it's doing is causing more fucking conflict, more fucking.
Kind of like giving weapons of ours to people that we're going to fight against eventually, right? Because that's happened. Yeah, sure. Take these.
If they need that money for their own shit, why are they giving money to their own enemy?
Oh my God. Well,
I mean, if you thought that
this ain't the right show for this, but yeah.
This is.
I know.
I'm just trying to show you the insanity that it's not just here. It's not just in Argentina. It's not. I mean, it is everywhere. People are working against their own fucking selves.
They've lost their minds. Most of them have lost their minds.
And for some reason,
in groups,
we are, inadvertently, we are responsible for, providing aid to all of these motherfuckers that are just turning around and using that money to stir up fights in other places.
Well, we like to have friends, because.
I mean, I just can't wrap my
We
brain
once were
around.
respected. You remember that, right?
Well,
you do remember it.
What is the guy's name?
Just in general.
The leader of Hungary. I'm not going to play the video because I don't have it. I don't want to try to track it down right now. But last week he was giving a speech about America, and one of the reporters asked him his opinion of Joe Biden and the world and blah blah blah, and he was like, the world was a safer place when Donald Trump was president. And I'm like,
well, I don't think so, but all right, either way.
Well, I mean, there were fewer wars. There were fewer wars that were in the being fought worldwide when Donald Trump was president.
That is true.
Victor
My
Orban.
recollection, that is true.
Victor Orban is the guy. Look it up. Yeah, I mean, we were fighting less wars. We were funding fewer wars in other countries. I mean, we may or may not have been the laughingstock of the rest of the world having him as our president.
Right.
There was we were not actively participating in so much stupidity. So I mean, I'm not a supporter of the orangutan in chief. I am not. I promise you, I will never vote for him. But when the president of another country,
I got no opinion,
points out that he would prefer Donald Trump be president because there was less war when Donald Trump was president.
Yeah.
You got to take the man seriously, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. In the past, I think it's I don't even know, 3 or 4 elections. I keep going. This is what we got. This is the choice. This is what the best we've got in the fucking country.
These are the
why is Patrick running for
top,
president? Why is Patrick not running for? That's my last question last time. Why Patrick's not on here? So, in my opinion, everybody should just vote for either A, Mickey Mouse, or B, George Carlin. Either way doesn't matter to me.
You can't vote for a dead guy, Kevin.
Well, I can pencil him in.
So, I mean, Bastard's in the chat room. He says that Uncle Joe Biden is a lot smarter than most people think, and nastier. He may actually be puppet mastering. I don't believe so. I mean, his fucking dementia is crazy, but I mean, if you sat down and watched any of his speeches that are not on like the regular networks,
yeah,
like he's doddering,
incapable
of forming sentences. Yeah. But somebody in his, if there's a puppet, if Kamala is in the background, like Venn diagramming all of it, we're going to give money to Israel, and Israel's going to turn around and give money to Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan is going to use that money to buy bullets and missiles to kill Armenians.
And then Joe says, "Okay, good, get me some ice cream."
Yeah.
And hairy legs and kids in pools, and
sniffing kids' heads. Yeah,
this is the best we've got, and that's scary.
No, Biden reminds me of George Burns was way more cognitively intact at 99 than Joe Biden is at 80 something, whatever he is. But anyway, let's get back to the tweets, Kevin. Let's get back to the tweets. So this is one that you sent. It says governments are banning vaping because is this one of mine or yours, Kevin? I can't remember.
That one I think is yours.
Okay. Governments are banning vaping because adoption has reached a point where it's starting to give a negative effect on cigarette sales, and governments all over the world just love the tax revenue coming from tobacco-related sales. I do not disagree with you, Six Claws or Divine Flesh 1. I don't know how divine your flesh is, but you know.
I'm thinking fact-checking all that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call that a cleared fact check.
And this is retweeting of I Hypocrite, which is also somebody that we know.
And there you go.
Yeah. And then Richard, this is not Kevin's tweet of the week, but it is an awesome tweet. It is just Richard announcing the 3-year anniversary of Safer Nicotine Wiki.
And if I haven't said so before, and I know I have in a tweet, this website is, and sadly I don't contribute a whole lot to it, and those who do are believe me, I love you. This website is what anyone, and I mean everyone, by when I say anyone doesn't want to see in public health. This is what should have already been up for decades. And for that, I'm just oh my God. I'm so in love with this fucking thing. So yeah, go there, find it, look shit up.
Well,
that's
it's
what
there.
It is.
That's
what
tool.
it is.
It's a tool for you.
Unbelievably beautiful idea.
Oh, that's mine. Okay.
And they bust their ass to keep that thing going.
Now this is your tweet of the week.
It is. There's two reasons
for it. This is
for it.
from Keith Pengilly.
I don't know who Keith is.
He's from Brisbane.
I introduced him on Twitter as Keith. This is everybody. This is Keith. I don't know where it caught my eye offhand, but I when I saw it, and I kept it from you as long as I could. When I saw it, that's probably why right there. It probably came up under them. I was a heavy smoker, Keith reports, and my doctor told me that I 6 months before I
was a heavy smoker, and my doctor told me that 6 months before my legs would be amputated. Oh, I probably
he didn't get a comma.
It might
would
have
be
been
amputated.
a comma. Yeah,
and it was only because of vaping that I stopped smoking, and I still have my legs 8 years later. And I owe my life to vaping. Nothing else worked. I tried Champix 3 times and couldn't stop. Now, in our wheelhouse, out of our wheelhouse, this was a necessity for me because I personally haven't had that kind of trouble, and others have. We know people that have. That's Ray, right? So when I see something like this, I'm like, holy shit. So give him a retweet or a way to go or attaboy or whatever it is.
Attaboy, a pat on the back, something.
Because man, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that at all. And I know it's a vaping related thing, and we want to try to get out of that sometimes, but that was just too freaking good.
I mean, it can be vaping related, but it's great sometimes when we find an awesome tweet from someone that is not one of the Twitterati, not one of
others. Others we do follow him. I've never heard him or seen him or whatever. Maybe he doesn't do a lot.
He replied to legalize vaping in Australia. That's why you saw it,
and that's good enough. Yep. I'm glad. So Keith, if you ever hear this, thank you.
That is awesome. Why did Michelle Elliott said something in Twitter and then took her tweet back?
Uh-oh.
I don't know why.
Michelle.
I can still see it over in this platform. I can see it on StreamYard. You can't take it. I can still see it. I don't know what it says, but okay. All right, Kev. We're getting there. We're getting there, Kev.
And pumping. Chip, chop, 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 buddy.
Oh, really?
Oh, Michelle's looking at the wiki.
Oh,
I bet you.
She is. She probably is.
Or talking about, not looking at, talking about it.
Yeah.
Huge work by that team. Yes. Huge. Consumer driven, consumer run, consumer mostly, probably. There's probably professionals giving as well now, but
Richard is a professional webmaster.
Time, money, and resource is all, as far as I know, it's all volunteer. Every bit of it.
Yep. So it says here, guy. Kev. I got an article here, and I mainly did this just so that we could read it. But there's something in here. So it says Mesa Public Schools to install weapons detectors and vape sensors in schools. Now, I will admit that there are certain dangers that need to be detected, and weapons are probably high on that list. I mean, I probably would have gotten in trouble because I always had a pocket knife in my pocket, not a bucket knife or anything, but just a little pen knife for cutting an apple or something. But anyway, it says here, Arizona's largest school district will soon have weapons detectors and vape sensors in schools across the district. Mesa Public Schools governing board voted 4-0 to approve the measures on Tuesday night. Board member Kiana Sears was not present. The funding for the vape detectors and the weapons detectors and vape sensors was set aside in the district's 2023 to 2024 capital budget, according to Holly Williams, the district associate superintendent. So the vape sensors are going to be installed in 20 middle and high schools. The vape sensors will be installed in all bathrooms across the 20 of the district's middle and high schools. I'm muting you. You're digging around and making all sorts of sounds. The vape sensors will be installed in all bathrooms across 20 of the schools, middle and high schools. It's an effort to stop kids from using e-cigarettes, which heat liquids that contain either nicotine or other chemicals. No, e-cigarettes do not contain THC. That might be a vape, but it is not an e-cigarette. We need to get these people to use the right words, Kev. If you're done playing around in the change drawer, I'll unmute you. Alan Moore, the district safety and security director, said he wants to make bathrooms safe places for students to use the facilities. Safe places, Kevin.
I know.
The sensors detect e-cigarette vapor and alert a camera outside the bathroom, prompting the security guard to be dispatched to catch the student as they are exiting.
That's right.
The vape sensor. You know what? I'm waiting for a kid to set up a fan and a vape in the bathroom so that they can set it up and leave.
Patrick.
And then when the fan blows the smoke towards the detector, there'll be nobody in there.
Never mind.
At all.
I've got a USB which can attach to my phone fan.
Yeah.
I mean, duh.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be pranking the fuck out of these people when I was a kid.
I was going to
I'd have like four of my friends go to 4 other bathrooms and do the same thing at the same time, and then see how they were, running around the facility. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I was digging around for my mom's Gerber. Similar to what I carried as a kid. I also had
I had an old timer. I just had a 2-blade old timer.
When anybody 50 and under, maybe not, but any old fuckers like us probably carried a knife to school. At least a knife, if not more.
At least.
Or 2. I've always carried a knife.
Not for nothing, Kev, but
all I know is in my day, in my day, you wasn't nothing but a punk if you wasn't carrying a knife.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have been something like this, but
no, in general, and hey, when we talk about knives, we can't upset anybody about weapons because I think knives are good everywhere, right? Ooh, caramba! This is a buck. It's just a buck. It's a regular old buck. Who cares? This would probably not be legal in school, I imagine.
I mean, I have a little
really mean to go off into the tangent.
Pen knife, just something like this.
Yeah, the same idea. Fuck, my mom carried a knife.
This is kind of fancy. I mean, this is turquoise, but
Now look, James. He's now here they come. They're all coming. Since he was about 12 and now he's 60. It's part of you.
I carry it. I mean, I don't have it on me now, but it's in my I have like a bowl where I put my keys and stuff every afternoon, clean my pockets out before I
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Get out of my work clothes.
That's what old people
do. And I carry I carry a Swiss Army knife with me all day.
Yeah.
You know, with a pair of pliers and a screwdriver and 2 or 3 different knives and bottle opener and
your tools.
Yeah.
That's what knives are. They're tools.
Yeah. No, I mean, I might also have a more aggressive one in my back pocket. Well, but that's the one that, you know, that's always with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I got a feeling Michelle probably and Mallory and Skip. they
anyway,
carry.
The vape sensors are an expansion of a pilot program at one of the school district's high schools that began in September and led to 48 students being caught in 2 months. Punishments for students who are 48 students in 2 months. Punishment for student at one school who are caught can include suspensions as well as civil citations from police officers for students caught with THC. Several public health groups, including Centers for Disease Control, advise against suspending students in response to e-cigarette use. They say that punitive measures aren't effective ways to combat nicotine addiction among youth and instead recommend more supportive and educational measures.
Of course.
The vape sensors cost $1,600 each. That was what I was, plus installation costs, according. So they're putting a vape sensor and a camera up out in and outside of every bathroom in the school district. It doesn't say how many bathrooms, but it does say, 20 schools? Is that what I saw? Yeah, 20 schools. So, you know, if you figure the cost of these contractors that are going to install the cameras and run the wires and do all that stuff, this is a substantial expense for a school district when, you know, just having the teacher monitor the students and, you know, having them look ahead. They're already paying those guys.
We had halls. We had separate halls.
Yeah.
Hawk and so there's 7 halls, 2 on each side, because they were pretty long fucking halls. 1,800 kids. 2, 7, 28. That's 26 or 28. I don't know about the cafeteria. I don't remember if there was one down in there. I think that's one of the halls actually. So let's say there's 28 bathrooms just at this high school over here. Holy crap. See, Michelle? See?
Oh, yeah. Here, you'll love this one. Here.
Yes, bastard. You never know.
Stabby. This is from the Guega County Maple Leaf.
Guega. All right.
Geau. I don't know how to say that. I'm just kidding. So this is here. Vaping causes youth nicotine addiction, officials told. Vaping, a nicotine pod, can provide more of the addictive substance than smoking a pack of cigarettes. Christy Gigliotti of Lake Guega Recovery Centers told government officials at the Guega County Townships Association dinner on November 8th, a pack of cigarettes has an average of 20 milligrams of nicotine. What?
Why can't anybody stop these fuckers?
Yeah. Anyone vaping a nicotine-laced pod of Juul will be taking in 30 milligrams, she said during her presentation at the Montville Community Center in Montville Township.
Oh my God.
The high nicotine content in vaping is causing youth addiction problems, Gigliotti said. Nicotine addiction is one of the hardest addictions to break, she said, urging diners to become informed about the Tobacco Quit line, which helps set a nicotine addict up with nicotine replacement therapy, which only works about 6% of the time.
7.
I said about.
CDC just released their latest bullshit. It's still 7. Across the board.
Bastard is still like he's so obsessed that he can't have an AR-15 because he lives in Australia.
Let's back up bastard.
Just
How am I going
because
to open up my Three Musketeers bar if I don't have a knife? Because I can't fucking open them anymore.
Carry an AR-15 anywhere and everywhere I want doesn't mean I don't want that up close and personal enjoyment when I'm in the stabbing.
That's pretty funny, actually, bastard. That's true too.
Sometimes you want to
come on over.
Be up close and personal, and sometimes you don't. Is what I'm saying. You know,
I don't know the law. Can he come over here and just carry?
No.
Yeah, he's got to be a citizen, doesn't he?
Got to be a citizen to get those.
Technically, yeah,
those rights of a citizen.
Well, not on private property.
Yeah, I mean,
you come to my house and carry one inside.
Yeah, but, you know.
So, how do they? Never mind. It's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Fucking motherfuckers.
Let's see. Gigliotti discussed tobacco use and vaping prevention in youth. LGRC provides services to adults affected by alcohol and drug use, problem gambling, and mental illness, she said. But fuck those kids.
Well,
only adults. They only help adults, apparently. They aim to provide long-term recovery from addiction through measures such as education, prevention, and treatment, and will not turn people away regardless of their ability to pay. Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable death in the nation. Not apparently, because a bastard thinks that we're getting stabby over here. Using nicotine replacement therapy shouldn't be long-term, but some people have used it long-term, and that's the thing that understanding nicotine addiction is that it's very dependent on the person.
Oh my God.
So it's very, this is ridiculous, Kevin. She knows that everybody doesn't quit the same way. She says it right there. It's very dependent on the person.
The more tobacco control math I see, and the more fucking it's in the wording I see, the madder I just get. It doesn't help me. They're all stupid.
I'm not reading the rest of this.
These people are walking around, and all I can say is they're like Mr. Magoo. I don't know what else to say. They're all fucking sideways, closed eyes, fucking walking around looking at fucking things that they can't see.
Yeah.
They can't explain properly, and they don't understand. I don't understand how they can't understand what they're fucking supposed to be doing. They don't know how to do their fucking job. That sounded like the FBI just broke in. Are you still there? Hello? Testing. What the fuck was that?
Huh?
Nothing.
Here, you'll get a laugh out of this one, Kevin.
Yeah, I bet.
You'll get a laugh out of this, I promise.
Scissors on you. Just getting stabby.
Yeah.
But your vape will kill you. A study from media.com showing that when they took 11 of 12 students addicted to vaping, confiscated their IVGs, 11 of the 12 students passed away. One remained. He is being reported as dangerous. His NIC levels were at an all-time low. For just £12 a week, you can help fund his addiction. Oh, we've just got breaking news. He's just passed away. His final words were, yo, give vape back. Slight your biff dart. I'm gonna.
What kind of fucking monkey ass bullshit was that?
It's satire, Kevin. It's satire.
Jesus Christ.
11 of 12 people they took their rights away, and 11 died, and the 12th was.
Thank God we've saved one.
It's a joke.
But we've saved one.
Yeah. God, quit being so sensitive. Kevin.
Don't make me make my own satire, which is usually the best humor. So
don't be so sensitive, Kevin. I mean,
you heard it too, Jason. See, I think the FDA is listening in and trying to fuck with us.
Could be.
I will run at a swift pace with scissors, just because that's who I am.
I don't think you can run, Kevin.
Oh, I can run.
At your age,
here we go. Here comes another
one. A brisk walk.
Vaping is not a quit smoking method. A lot of people
Fuck you.
focus on vaping because it's healthier, but vaping is physical, mental, and behavioral addiction, even stronger than smoking. Because when you vape, that thing is in your hand all the time. So the hand-mouth habit, the
Even stronger than vaping, Kevin. Just, or
behavioral
smoking.
component of the addiction is stronger. Also, you take in more nicotine, so you have higher levels of nicotine to withdraw from.
That's right.
Especially young people, they get too addicted to nicotine too quickly before the brain forms. The brain forms at 25 years old. So
I need to find a
Mayflower's degree.
You know, I you know how many people I know that have masters and doctorates before they're 25 years old, Kevin?
Probably in your your area of expertise, hundreds. I think. Not including the vape community.
Significant numbers of people that are, not
sure.
25 and their brains are,
whether they deserved it or not, they probably earned it.
I mean, they might be in debt for a long time because they got gender studies or degrees or, underwater basket weaving degrees or whatever. But
Jason,
it says mind power.
Right there.
The
Right
sign
there.
says
NRA.
mind power.
This is propaganda. You got flashy fucking words.
Well, she does have an Eastern European accent. Listen to her talk. So this could be but we do know for a fact that Russia said that they were not going to ban vaping because it goes against the rights of its citizens. We did talk about that last week.
imagine the damage this is done in the brain's neurochemistry. Horrible, horrible. Mentally, vaping is even more addictive than smoking because it plays that trick on you that is healthier. So that gives you permission to do more of it. I'm not saying you should smoke. I'm saying don't switch to vaping, quit smoking.
No, so easy. It's so easy, Kevin.
It's easy, all right.
Yeah.
It's easy to bullshit people.
So let's see. We've been in India tonight. We've been in Australia for several pieces. We've been. Let's go to the UK.
I got that clusterfuck.
Yeah, let's go to the UK now.
Jason ATF is watching.
They could be because
voting accident. I can't help it.
Mm.
Oh my god. Well, she looks intelligent. We'll see.
News has learned that vaping addiction is on the rise, with a staggering 5 million people using them every day. A new survey estimates.
Now, how many of that 5 million are adults? And why are you counting the number of adults that are doing adult things? You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, Kevin?
It's a quarter of all British adults have tried vapes. The UK Addiction Treatment Group, which carried out the poll, also reports that it's seen a surge in users asking for help in quitting vaping. And there's still relatively little known about the long-term impact.
Relatively little is known about the long-term impacts of vaping, Kevin.
Of using e-cigarettes. Sejal Karia has this special report.
Easy to use, eye-catching, and with flavors designed to pull on the taste buds, vaping is on the rise. With alarming warnings tonight, it's the UK's next health crisis. ICB can reveal millions of us are now using e-cigarettes every day, while more people than ever are seeking help to quit.
It feels good just to inhale.
Kane started vaping 2 years ago to relieve stress, having never...
Well, Kane should not have killed his brother April, and then he wouldn't have had the stress.
Oh, there's chocolate.
Tootsie Roll just showed up. Did you see that?
Oh.
Stress, having never smoked before.
I would say that I'm addicted, yes. On average, I'd say I get through maybe 4 a week. I use any excuse to vape, really. If I'm feeling stressed or I've had a bad day at work or the kids are being...
Now, according to the math from last week's article, the ones in the UK That's the equivalent of 1 pack of cigarettes, is what they said last week. So if he's using 4 a week, he's replacing, even if he never smoked,
right?
That's still 4 packs of cigarettes that he's not smoking.
And thank you, because I was going to say at the end of this, what is one of those average lifespan? Because if he never smoked, how hard is he hitting it at 4? Is that a lot? Is that normal? Is that nothing? Or
disruptive? You kind of use it as an excuse to have a vape.
He says it's all too easy to become hooked.
The problem I have with vapes is they don't really have an ending. So if you smoke cigarettes, there's an end to a cigarette and you finish, whereas a vape, it doesn't stop until the light starts blinking. And so I could vape endlessly.
A survey by the UK Addiction Treatment Group, shared exclusively with ITV News, indicates the scale of Brits hooked on vapes. It shows a staggering 5.1 million adults in the UK vaping at least every day.
So that's 5.1 million Brits that aren't smoking.
Adults.
Yeah. That's what she said. 5.1 million adults who have made an adult choice to do whatever the fuck they want to do.
As adults.
And it is a choice that they've made that is relatively benign.
Yeah, because
I'm just keeping up here with the narrative here.
Sleep multiple times a day, with women a huge 2.6 million making up more than half that number.
Good.
Nearly 400,000 of whom were also pregnant.
Even better.
And vaping is booming across the age groups.
So that's nearly 400,000 pregnant women that are not smoking cigarettes and getting all of the tars and residuals and all that shit. That's okay. Yeah.
Good.
With just over 1 million aged 40 to 49.
So now they're bitching. They're the 40 to 50-year-old people. Now they're second guessing the choices of older people.
I don't understand this. I really don't.
And more than 850,000 aged 18 to 24 using them.
Now that's 18 to 24. In the UK, 18-year-olds can buy cigarettes. So those are still adult people that can make adult choices, and at least they're making a choice for something that's not going to kill them. Oh, okay. I guess they're making a big deal about this because that means fewer people are dying.
One Stop Smoking organizations now seeing an increase in calls from people wanting help to quit vaping too.
If we went back 5 years, it was probably 10% of people were vapers, but at that time they were dual users. That meant they smoked and they vaped. Now it's
no conflict there.
Probably just over 20% now. But actually what we're seeing is more and more people that have never smoked, that have just purely vaped, that are attending.
I wasn't controlling when I was vaping. It was definitely controlling me.
Among those seeking help is Anne, a mum of 3, an ex.
Now, Kevin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I work a job.
Yeah.
Where I'm away from, my car is my office. All right.
Yep.
So I don't carry my device with me when I go into work with my patient. I'm with them for about an hour at a time.
Yeah.
And at no time while I'm working with that person am I going, you know what, I need to go to my car and
you don't run out for a toot.
A vape break.
Vape break.
So these people that they're talking to say that it is impossible for them to go on with their life because they're constantly thinking about tooting on their little toot pipe.
Don't mess with my toot.
That's almost as good as my ding-a-ling.
I don't want you to mess with that either.
You should play those back to back.
On your own.
Smoker who got addicted to vapes.
My first vape lasted 3 months, so I thought, oh, this is great. I've cracked this. And then it gradually built up until I was smoking a vape a day for 2 years. For myself, it actually turned out to
That's still not cigarettes.
Yeah.
be a lot worse. I was certainly vaping an awful lot more than I was smoking.
She tried and failed at quitting herself before turning to professional help and has now finally become vape-free.
And how do you feel in yourself now that you've stopped?
I feel like I have been released from something that was bearing down on me. I don't feel that constant guilt that I'm killing myself.
Vaping is still new, so there's no data about its long-term damage. But many are raising questions over whether we should be inhaling chemicals we know nothing about.
No one's saying that vaping is completely harm-free. It's a really difficult balance. I think clearly we want to support as many adult people who smoke to switch away from tobacco as soon as they possibly can, because it's a deadly thing to do and very incredibly harmful to health. At the same time, we don't want young people who've never smoked to take up vaping either.
How dare you make choices for other people?
Thank you, Jason. You know why I'm thanking you.
I actually do have patients that vape, and I mean, obviously during therapy, we don't do that. I wouldn't let them smoke or drink a beer while I was working with them either. And no, I wouldn't vape in front of them either. It's like if I had kids, I probably wouldn't vape in front of them. I mean, I'd let them know what it was, but I wouldn't do it in front of them. But yeah, no, I do have patients that vape, and I still would not vape in front of them. I will talk to them about it, but I won't actually do it in front of them. And I do have snus, you know. Somebody said nicotine pouches, but I have snus, or you know. This is a really good Scotch whiskey snus. And here's
no beer.
Here's a different one. You know, I've got like 5 different ones here at the desk. You never know when you're going to want one. Yeah. No, I won't do that.
What is in no doubt is that smoking tobacco kills. What is still clouded in uncertainty is the long-term health impact of vaping. And while that uncertainty exists, questions will remain. Cedral Caria, ITV News.
Well, here's the thing, Patrick. You know, we allegedly know everything there is to know about smoking. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Allegedly. Within reason, we're pretty much cognitive of things that can happen. Now, we got about 20 years of this, and they just don't know.
Yeah.
But they do know. They know enough to know that it's less harm than smoking.
There's 3 different Scotch whiskey snus on my desk right now. Just
I'll be damned. So I come to the conclusion today when I saw Gillian tweet something, or yesterday, that you people are thinking for yourselves, and those people don't like that because you're out of their control in general. That's the general gist of what I got out of that. And they don't like you making your own choices. They want you in a special place to fucking continue to be disliked because they need their jobs. And you're not supporting them in that. And it's a very disappointing thing, obviously, because they just don't know.
They don't know, Kevin.
I all them smart fucking people don't know shit. I don't understand.
All right, so I've got 2 more pieces to read, and then we're going to shift over to the rumbles to let it all hang out. But the last 2 pieces I found right this afternoon, right when I was setting up the show, and I have not read them in full. So we're going to discover these together, Kevin.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. We're going to go on a voyage of discovery together.
Kumbaya. Chris.
So this is from Tobacco Reporter. It was done today. It was published today. Well, yeah.
Jason.
We're still on today. We're still on the 1st. So it's called Taming the Cowboys. Now that this could get interesting. Altria has declared war on the illicit disposable devices that are impacting its bottom line. The illicit e-cigarette market is soaring. Illicit products are estimated to account for more than 60% of the $8.3 billion U.S. vaping industry. Statista expects the U.S. electronic nicotine delivery system market to grow at a compound annual rate of 3.93% from 2023 to 2028. If the illicit market continues to go unchecked, however, companies that market legal vaping products fear many consumers will simply switch back to combustible cigarettes. Here is a quote. It says, "It is very much worth noting that this rapid apparent substitution is happening in an environment where half the vapor market is illicit. The FDA has hugely hampered vaping products making it onto the legal market, and consumers are hugely misled on relative risks," said David Sweener, an adjunct professor at the University of Ottawa and a long-time tobacco harm reduction advocate. As with other markets, seeing similarly historic drops in cigarette use as alternative sales soar, it raises the question of just how rapidly cigarette sales could fall if policies were aimed at facilitating that rather than doing things to stymie it. Altria, parent to Enjoy, a leading brand of legal vaping products in the United States, according to Nielsen, told investors during a recent conference call that the current state of the market is intolerable for both legitimate manufacturers and consumers. Altria's CEO Billy Guilford said the regulated market is being overrun by illicit flavored disposable products manufactured and distributed by companies violating the rules and guidance laid out by the FDA. He said that regulation not enforced is indistinguishable from no regulation at all. That is true, actually. I don't find an error in what he just said. If you're, if the rules are not enforced, then there are no rules. Illegal e-vapor products circumvent the actions of regulators, responsible manufacturers, and retailers by evading scientific review, quality manufacturing controls, marketing oversight, and legal aids or purchase restrictions. Despite recent actions by the FDA, enforcement has been inadequate and ineffective, explained Guilford. We believe the FDA has good tools necessary to bring order to the market. For our part, we are actively engaged with regulators, state and federal lawmakers, and trade partners and other stakeholders to build awareness of these serious issues and drive marketplace enforcement. I can fucking guarantee you that if Altria was selling product to a convenience store who also had these illicit products on their shelves, I guarantee you that they would not say, "Oh, well, if you're going to sell those, you can't sell ours."
Well,
I mean, they do have some authority over where their product is sold. If they really wanted to hamper the black market, Kevin, all they'd have to say is, "Well, we're not going to sell our product to you anymore because you sell those elf bars too."
That's right.
Yeah, that's going to work.
So this is like for the rules for thee, but not for me.
Yes.
Kinda, suddenly our friends over at tobacco companies they're not as friendly as we thought to some extent.
Well, I can promise you, if I had spent billions or millions and millions of dollars on my PMTA, I'd be upset that the FDA wasn't doing their job too.
Well, sure.
I promise you that I would be raising hell at the FDA and say, "You know what? I give you millions and millions and millions of dollars with tobacco user fees, and you're not doing your job, and my business is being threatened. How about we just not give you our tobacco user fees anymore? Because the money that we're giving you is not being used to do what it's supposed to do."
It is an agreement, not a contract. It's a handshake. with about 4,000 hands involved, probably.
Or
Or
you just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to start introducing a whole new bunch of new products to market because you're not enforcing the rules.
Because why not? Because why not?
So I guess we can just sell whatever the fuck we want because you're not doing your job.
Yeah. Prevent all cigarette trafficking acts. I've never heard that before.
Yes.
I've never heard that. But
yes,
you know, RICO.
It's called the PACT Act.
Oh,
You've heard of the PACT Act?
I guess I did. Duh.
Yeah.
So I guess the protecting trades and the crossing state line stuff doesn't apply generally to the FDA or any other government agency, right?
Nah.
RICO and well. Because
according
really,
to Gifford,
yep.
Because really.
No, go ahead.
According to Gifford, the lack of enforcement has forced Altria to take a targeted but necessary action. The company filed a lawsuit in the District Court of the Central District of California against 34 organizations. And Joy alleges that the defendants are manufacturing, marketing, distributing, selling, and or marketing their flavored disposable ends unlawfully for three primary reasons. One, they are not authorized pursuant to FDA marketing granted orders as part of the PMTA. California bans the retail sale of flavored ends, and defendants do not comply with the PACT Act, delivery, sale, age verification, registration, and filing, record keeping, tax payment, and labeling requirements.
What?
That's a lot.
That sounds like it's a black market. Ooh.
Well, I mean, technically, the FDA should be these guys should be suing the FDA because of restrictive of commerce.
Yeah,
they're not doing their
trade,
job.
Right?
They're not doing their job by blocking the illegal international products that are not legal,
right.
Which is causing an effect to their business.
I was thinking restraint of trade. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, effectively, they're allowing illegal products to participate in the commerce, which is diffusing their product. You see what I'm saying?
An activity that tends to limit a party's ability to enter transactions. Okay. Antitrust.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So we want to protect harm reduction and the opportunity for 30 million smokers in the U.S. They don't. We really need to have enforcement where the smokers can make informed choices as they're moving across categories. I think that there's an underlying positive is that we see adult smokers moving over, so they're ready to have potentially reduced harm products. We just need them to be registered and based in science to be in the marketplace. Sal Mancuso, Altria's chief financial officer, said the traditional cigarette volumes continue to decline in the third quarter, and he said the decline is impacted by the number of illegal products on the market. They need to also consider all the illegal cigarettes that are on the market too. He said that the decline is impacted by a number of illegal products on the market. However, because illicit products are largely distributed through non-traditional untracked channels, the company has had. That's not true. I can guarantee that at least, 20% of the illegal e-cigarettes that are in the marketplace or in convenience stores, Kevin.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
We want to sell our shit. We don't want anybody else selling their shit.
I mean, I would too. I mean, if I'd spent millions and millions of dollars on my PMTA and got my product legally on the market, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, of course.
If the illegal products that are selling for a little bit or less than my products, didn't you have to go through that process and the FDA's not doing anything about it? I can see the frustration and the meanness, getting mad. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Enjoy had already spent their millions of dollars to get their PMTA through before Altria bought them.
Right.
Yeah. that made that investment very enticing when Juul, when they had Juul, but Juul was bottoming out and they're selling their sales went horribly bad.
And I tried one, an Enjoy. It's been a while.
Well, I mean, I've tried them here on the show. I liked the menthol tobacco one.
I didn't care for them, but that doesn't mean that others wouldn't. So again, this is like the Juul thing. I don't care. I don't care who's on the market. I want everybody to have choices, because when they say you can't get, they've already restricted our nicotine, etc., mail, all this bullshit. And eventually, someday, if I can't get my shit and I have to go to the store and I can choose from a pack of cigarettes or a Juul or an Enjoy or whatever it is, I'd prefer a vape. That's all. Rather than.
All right. So this week, Kevin.
This week
on Twitter, your friend Jim.
My friend Jim. Careful.
So there. He's your friend. Your friend Jim.
My friend Jim.
Your friend Jim responded to a tweet put out by the ever elusive, like sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not. I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay, ready?
VTA. They showed up again this week. They popped up and posted a tweet. They haven't heard, not seen them. Not.
I'll say it. Ready? Hide, not hair.
Hide nor hair.
Nor hair
of them for months and months and months, and then
I don't pay attention.
Suddenly they're tweeting again. They're I don't know who's in that group anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going on. 2 weeks ago I tweeted something and I think I hurt some people's feelings because I did make mention of the trade organizations that I don't see doing anything. And I know that there are some people that are very active in what's Amanda's old group called? Vapor Technology or Vapor Vapor American is what they are. Is their tweeter or their X. I know that they are doing stuff. They're constantly on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they're active.
But they are not a national trade organization either. They are a member organization.
Right.
Now, SFATA and VTA claim that they're trade organizations. They're member trade organizations as well, but I haven't seen shit.
I haven't noticed.
Not anything substantial other than periodically, what's her name at VT or at SFATA will tweet something. Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, I know that they're pretty much a bare bones again,
doing what they can.
But VTA, and you get from them and then suddenly they're tweeting that they've entered into an agreement with Kellyanne Conway, who was Trump's girl. Trump's secretary or press secretary. She was Trump's press secretary. Yeah. So anyway, I saw this piece this afternoon from Real Clear Policy. And when it says, when the politics of science costs lives, and guess what? It's authored by Kellyanne Conway.
I'll be darned.
So in the U.S. today, the benefits of e-cigarettes to those who smoke cigarettes have been dismissed and marginalized by public health officials. Now, she was present in the room when Trumpy Trump had his little meeting with the vapor companies or the vapor organizations, with the tobacco, e-cigarette manufacturers, the big tobacco companies.
Your girlfriends from PAVE were there.
As well as your girlfriends from PAVE. And Matt Meyer. I think Matt might have been.
Oh, yeah, my boyfriend. Yeah, he was. I think he was there.
Yeah, the short old
I think Harold was there as well from the Lung Association. I think.
So she was in the room, and Jim made a comment about whether about the faces that she was making, quite aggressive and ugly faces at the vapor people.
She didn't like Greg or something.
And that she was smoothing up with the Pave Moms. Now, I did do a Google search and I found some video, but I didn't see anywhere in there where I could note that I noticed that she was making any ugly faces. However, she is a paid gun.
Yeah.
I mean, she will say whatever the people that are paying her tell her to say. That's what her job is, right?
Political, right.
Right. So, I don't know that this is helping us or hurting us, and I'm sure she probably didn't write this, that somebody wrote this for her and she just put her name on it. But anyway, it says, most Americans have a highly negative view of vaping until they learn more. Simple facts about the harm reduction and smoking cessation benefits of vaping products, particularly flavored vapes, which are 2 to 3 times more effective to help adults quit smoking, shifts sentiment significantly. I haven't seen that. I still think the vast majority of people are still anti-vaping. Even when somebody does try to educate them, I haven't seen a big, huge shift in public perception. I do, track this shit, and I haven't seen this. I don't know who the fuck is giving her this fact. The latest data shows that youth vaping rates in the U.S. have decreased by 50% from 2019 to 2021, returning to levels not seen since 2014. That is pre-Juul. And contrary to claims made by the FDA and activist groups, flavors were not even on the top of 5 reasons why youth say they choose to vape, according to the CDC National Youth Tobacco Survey. According to the CDC, high school vaping specifically has decreased by 50%, while middle school vaping has decreased by 75%. With many students looking to reduce their or cease cigarette smoking, why is it the FDA so hell-bent on blocking greater access to e-cigarettes? In the past 6 months alone, the FDA has created an import red list enlisting U.S. Customs and Border Protection to intercept overseas shipments of vaping products, issued a retail blitz, and sent chilling warning letters to retailers and distributors threatening criminal and civil penalties. This is the same depleted and demoralized CPB trying to keep pace with the open borders policy that Biden and border czar Kamala Harris have forced on the nation. Instead of scaring consumers and daring small businesses, the FDA should be advancing tools that could help save millions of lives and billions of healthcare costs over time. The latest polling data shows that the Americans are concerned about this behavior, but by taxpayer-funded government agencies, which they see as political. They have a point. Despite the FDA's stated goal of getting Americans off traditional tobacco products, a staggering 99% of free-market tobacco applicants, or PMTAs, for e-cigarettes sent to the FDA have been denied. Meanwhile, the FDA has approved the sale of 900 new cigarettes over the last several years. This illustrates plainly the political nature of the regulatory process and that no one is more addicted to tobacco than the federal government. I actually wrote a whole blog about that like 10 years ago, Kevin.
They've stole my tweet too.
And I know that Tony Abood has read my article because it was published in a magazine that he, his company sponsored at one point. Yeah, that doesn't mean he actually read it, though, Kevin. It was in there. The same polling data indicates that the FDA has been largely successful in its apparent crusade to delegitimize e-cigarettes and confuse American public about alternative. Isn't that the opposite of what you just said upstairs that I said isn't true? Undeterred, the anti-vaping establishment has created its latest rhetorically powerful but factually unsubstantiated boogeyman, disposable vaping products manufactured overseas that allegedly come pre-laced with fentanyl. Now, she and I can be on the same page on this one. Nobody's going to put an expensive ingredient into a cheap product.
No.
Unless the consumer ordered it, unless somebody ordered that.
And they can profit from it further at the same time from the same people.
And they're not going to sell that more expensive laced fentanyl vape accidentally to, in place of a nicotine vape. It's just not going to happen. And then we already fucking know that it's not going to work. It doesn't work that way, boys and girls. Unbiased analysis say that there is not one single documented instance of a disposable vape that was purchased off a store shelf with fentanyl already in it. Sadly, fentanyl is already here, pouring in from the southern border, and the number one killer of 18 to 45-year-olds in the U.S. I don't know about that, but okay. While claiming to prioritize improving equitable health outcomes for Black Americans and members of the LGBTQIA plus community, whom studies have shown smoke and are impacted by cigarettes at disproportionately higher levels or rates, the Biden administration has instead focused on harm reduction efforts on needle exchange programs for heroin. Somehow vaping is a bridge too far. I think they should do both. I would never suggest that needle exchanges are a bad thing, Kevin. Never.
Nope, me neither. Ever. Never.
I'm just enjoying my.
You're good.
My pipe for a second, Kevin.
That may be why the Center for Black Equity recently called on the FDA and the Center for Tobacco Products to grant broad approval for a full range of nicotine e-cigarettes.
We discussed that on the show, Kevin.
We did. They, along with Dr. Robert Shapiro, who I've heard of, I don't remember. Is that who it was?
He was a big deal in the Obama.
Okay, maybe that's why.
White
That
House.
may be what the recollection is. The brain's not working right tonight. Released a study showing that switching from smoking cigarettes to vaping saved 113,300 people from premature death. Excuse me, over a 12-year period. They also conclude the shift to vaping e-cigarettes preserved $137 billion in U.S. GDP, $39 billion in healthcare cost savings, reducing the number of U.S. smokers by over 6 million people between 2010 and 2022. It's 12 years. Poses fewer health risks due to the absence of toxic and carcinogenic substances, which our earlier friend from wherever the fuck name you guys wrote down doesn't understand. So notably, and this has been discussed and tweeted over and again on Twitter. Thank you, Charlie, and Skip, and I believe a few of you in here. The Society for Research on Nicotine and Tobacco, SNRT, I think. SRNT rather, criticized U.S. public health agencies, their past presidents, remember now, not in current positions, for their singular focus on youth vaping and flavors, which is already, I'm going to slow down really, really far, illegal. This is where on Twitter I would say get your nose closer to the screen. Illegal, without considering scientific benefits. Flavored vaping products can, not make good might, can have on adult cigarette smokers who wish to quit. It's a victory. God, you're making me actually like this now. That youth vaping rates are at historic lows. True. Hopefully that trend continues. For that to happen, FDA should stop its relentless attack on vaping and adults. They could take their own blank era advice, you like that, to follow the science, you some fuckers, to demonstrate an imperviousness, the fuck is that, to politics, and increase access to proven smoking cessation tools. What's her name is a former senior counselor to President DT. So, in a nutshell, I'm not against this necessarily. Should have happened a long, long goddamn time ago.
Well, I mean, again, all criticism aside to, jumping into the swamp of the Trump era staff issues, by and large, there were some flaws in that paper. She didn't write it. I'm sure somebody else wrote it for her. Right. There were some issues with some numbers, and there's some issues, but by and large,
always is.
It wasn't a horrible piece. However, any political group or any political people are going to see that she did it.
Yeah.
Immediately they're going to throw Donald Trump's name into this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that may or may not help us in the future if he gets reelected. I have a sinking suspicion that he's going to be reelected unless he's convicted and in prison. And he may actually be reelected even if he's in prison. And the first thing that he's going to have to do is pardon himself.
Oh, God.
Because there is no law that says that he can't be elected president while he's in prison.
So he can run the country from there. That's fine.
No, I mean, obviously he can just pardon himself. He has
why would he?
broad presidential authority to do whatever the F he wants. I mean,
if I get out, y'all get out.
I mean, Kevin, because we already got political earlier about the whole,
good
weird Venn diagram of all this money that's going over to the Middle East and going over to Israel and all this nonsense. That's just perpetuating 3 wars running simultaneously for no fucking reason at all, as far as I'm concerned. I'm on people's sides. I have a particular dog in this hunt and a dog in that hunt and dog in that hunt, but I also see the damage that those 3 things that are going on simultaneously are doing to us that are going to really why. But anyway, it is quite possible that he could be reelected, and if he and her are on good terms, this might be helpful. I don't know. But it didn't help us the last time, so I don't know.
Right.
But all right, Kev. All right, people in the chat room. I'll be nice for all you slackers that can't do a simple Google. Let me go.
Is it not in the show notes because you don't know the link until we start?
I don't know the link until I actually start the show.
Okay. I didn't know that.
But I did put it in. I did put it in the Facebook post that I shared to all the groups. But this is the link for the Rumble broadcast that will immediately continue as soon as we leave here. But not everybody, I am assuming, will be going over there because there are some people that are anti-Rumble. I don't know. But the ones that are going over there, we'll see in a few minutes. The ones that aren't going over there, we love you. We'll see you in 7 days. I've got a short little video piece that I'm going to play in between. It's 1 minute and 53 seconds long. It is the lovely and highly intelligent Ayn Rand talking about what she believes in. So we'll see it in 1 minute and 53 seconds.
Hydrate.
I call it objectivism.
All right.
Meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute. That man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it. And that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On faith.
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason. A morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
All right. All right.
Now, may I define what my morality is?
All right.
Because this is merely an introduction. My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on Earth and to live as a human being,